Fired up footballers, welcome to the stream. How you all doing? Oh, we got a lot to talk about. Week 1 of MLS in the bag. We're going to be teaching MLS GMs a thing or two with the help of a little AI, courtesy of FIFA 23. Thanks for joining us here on Spit and Fire. We're going to be doing a little bit of an MLS-centric broadcast today. Got a fun one for you on the docket. We're going to be going over extra time, their recent update, and talking about this week 1 of MLS. Of course, Chicago Fire did not play. They play in a couple days. Connor saying, "What's up?" That yellow team played. We'll talk about that yellow team and more. Turn on Discord, says DPG. All right. Onto Discord we go. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. What is going on, everybody? DPG already in here. What's up, DPG?
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Are you ready for week 1? Well, for week 2 at MLS, but game 1 for Fire.
Yeah, so it's week 2. The Fire apparently are in the playoff spot right now without playing a game. So yay. Let me ask you this: what did you think of Apple's service?
I didn't watch a game.
You didn't watch a game, okay?
Didn't
fair
even
enough.
watch a game. My buddy has it. I get it with my buddy, and it like prompted me to, it's like, hey, you got to enter this code, and I was like, I don't feel like it. It's not that important to me. I had other stuff going on.
I think,
but so I didn't get to tune in.
So actually, I'm sharing with my brother. He doesn't have an Apple phone, but his wife does. So I had to basically create a family, and I added her in there so he could watch MLS. It worked out for him. He's actually for some reason is very heavily invested in St. Louis. I guess
Roman Berkey.
I mean, he likes going to St. Louis. I guess he likes St. Louis. I don't know, but he's like, oh my god, I can't wait to see the Fire play against St. Louis.
Shout out to our viewers in St. Louis.
Yeah,
but they're playing better than the Fire.
That was a weird game. That was a weird game. Was it St. Louis versus who they were playing against? I forgot now.
I'll have to look it up. But I was MLS schedule on the docket. Who did St. Louis?
They played Austin. There you go.
Austin FC, and they won 3-2.
That was such a weird game, though. Like I even felt the goals were a little weird. I don't know. That game was a little off. Like I don't know if it's because it's the first week, but that was like a very MLS-y game, I want to say. But yeah, it was going back and forth, and then that guy Jao Claus, whatever his name is, makes the goal and then gets hurt, so he got subbed off.
Damn.
But I don't know.
How'd you feel about it though? Did you like it? What I saw on Twitter as far as reaction was like people saying, "Wow, imagine if it got this treatment on ESPN."
Yeah, I mean the production value was pretty good. I think I watched a lot of the games on my phone. I wasn't at home. I wish I was at home laying on my couch watching the games. But I was watching them on my phone. It was great quality. I know a lot of people were complaining. It had a lot of commercial breaks in their MLS 360 show, whatever it was, their red zone.
Really?
So to speak. That there was a lot of commercials, and instead of doing like a double screen where you have the show still going on and the commercial playing in the background, they just cut off completely and went into a commercial.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have some critiques for that based upon what you just told me. It doesn't sound like they have that. What I, as a consumer, want. I want something like Red Zone. I want something that's uninterrupted. It's constant action. I mean, it doesn't have to be constant scoring. It's constant threats. Like you're bringing in if there's all these games going on, you're showing a couple minutes here from the games, and you got a beat of like when it's heating up. The thing about goal scoring though is usually happens within 8 seconds of a transition, so that's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard, yeah. But you would think that when you have a lot of games going on at the same time, they'll start calling in. If even though goals are hard to come by, hey, you might have to show a corner kick, show corner kicks, show free kicks in dangerous positions. Talk about if the game's about to start. Talk about a potential lineup, changes, whatever. There's a lot to go by, and I mean, they did do that, but the problem is that again, you had the commercials, and then you had Taylor Twellman show up and try to pump up St. Louis because he's from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
But it was okay. I'm hoping it gets better though. I think after this first week, I'm hoping it gets better, and maybe they could do something about the commercials. And
so that's what you would tweak. That's my question. What would you tweak? And then I'll answer it with what I would tweak.
I think a lot of it has to. If we're talking about the MLS 360 show, whatever it's called, I would say rotate across the league. If you have 10 games going on at the same time, if they have corner kicks, there has to be at least 1 or 2 corner kicks going on at the same time, or free kicks or red card. Even even if it's like a 30-second snippet of someone getting a yellow card, that still counts. Because it could play into a later situation later in the game, like the guy could get double booked and how he's out of the game. So I mean, it's little things like that.
Chat saying that they preferred the games to the old MLS 360. 360 had way too many commentators. So they got to fix these commercials. That sounds like a key thing. And the other thing is that how do you get a beat on the action? They have picture in picture in Red Zone. So don't they have that here?
You know what? Angus is right about that. There was a lot of commentators. I think that if I remember correctly, there was at least 5 commentators that all like standing around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think it started off with 4 or 5. I don't remember what. And then Taylor Twellman shows up, and then all of a sudden they all sit down on a table. But yeah, he is right. They were like standing in front of the screen and just kind of chatting, like, "Oh yeah, St. Louis or some random game or something like that." And that's true. Like if you need to like rotate commentators out, you should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's especially if you have games in in the early part of the day or whatever. You might have to rotate commentators. You might have to put Tony Mayola and someone else, and maybe even a third person, but that's it. And then rotate them later on.
That sounds like a more effective way. Sounds like you could have too many voices on
warm
there.
Welcome to you all.
And then on top of that,
we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
Are they talking about the action, or what are they talking about? The thing about Red Zone is they key in the announcers from the game. Like the people inside the studio, there's one guy in the studio, and they use him for the in-betweens when there is no action. That's how I feel like those people there's way too many people. There should be one guy, should be Taylor Twellman, Alexi Lala's one guy who could tell you what just happened for the last 5-10 minutes, and then back to it. But it doesn't sound like it's that.
No. It sounds more like a little bit like a talk show. Like it reminds me more about like, I don't know if you ever seen this, but like Football Picante, when you have like 10, not 10, maybe like 8 Mexican commentators discussing about the national team and the league. It seemed more like that. But looking at the comments, Connor is right though. The game should just it would be better if it cuts to the game and have the audio like Premier League Zone. I love Premier League Zone. I always thought that was really good.
Connor saying that it would be better if they would just cut to the game and then bring in the match audio like Premier League Goal Zone on Peacock. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Essentially, that's what Red Zone is, right? It's they got the game, and like we don't need the extra banter. Like I just need what there's already plenty going on with the announcers, and then when they zoom out of that and bring you that transitions what they need that person in the studio for.
Yeah. speaking of which, I actually did listen a little bit to Ezra's was it what is his weekly press meeting or whatever?
He had a little press conference with the
Press
media.
conference. There you go. Yeah, media conference. It's just I guess the one thing that kind of cracked me up a little bit is that he's refusing to let to announce his starting goalkeeper for Saturday. Because I don't know,
Like
the
that
goalkeeping
matters.
like that matters because I think out of all the positions on the field, I think goalkeeping is like the less consequential one of all of them.
I don't
Um,
think that the goalkeeper changes the other
anything
coach's tactics. Anything.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
if the guy's gonna score a goal, he's gonna score a goal regardless. You can have, Buffon on the net, and it's not gonna change anything.
And I wonder, I wonder if that's not even a tactic to worry about for the other team. What if it's maybe a tactic because no goalie has truly emerged as his starter?
I mean, that is true. I mean, I personally didn't like what I saw from Richie last year. I thought he was okay.
Well, now there's two people ahead of him competing with him named Gal and the kid.
I want to see the kid start.
Brady.
I want to see Brady start, but the problem is that you don't want to derail his development by throwing him into the wolves early. Because this is the start of the season, and points do matter at the start of the season.
Who's your best goalkeeper? Apparently, he's your tallest goalkeeper. He's the youngest and the tallest.
I mean, it could be him or it could be Gall. Gall because he just has more experience. I mean, not more experience, but more or less he's played overseas, and training teams seems to be better overseas.
I wonder if Gal comes in and is the starting goalkeeper for the season, and because he might just be a hair above everybody else. But based upon Ezra's words that there is no starter, they don't know who it. I wonder if no one's emerged yet. And that's a concern.
I mean, and it's horrible the fact that we didn't have any preseason matches to watch and go by and look at it again. Because the Fire had like a 3-3 draw. They lost 3-0 on their last preseason game against Real Salt Lake. It's just little things like that. I wish we had more video of that. And you're right. You're probably right. Ezra probably has no idea what he's gonna do.
That's a concern.
Then again, a lot of stuff that Ezra does is a concern. And someone did ask him if, with the acquisition of Georgios, was it Kotses? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Kotses. And on top of Kamara, if, Shaboko was actually going to leave, or is he still a Fire player, or they're trying to figure a move for him? And Ezra said, no, he's still a Fire player and he's still here in the team. Which I guess it's, I mean, I guess you kind of have to see and wait, because you never know. We've had situations like this kind of have happened where you have a guy that's horrible one season, but then turns it around the next. He might turn it around. Maybe he was really badly injured last season that he couldn't really do much, and he might have a chance to turn it around.
Something happened. A new subscriber. Thanks for subscribing there. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know what we're getting in Ezra this season. We got 1 year of him, and what I think about is those past coaches who, in those first seasons, did we have them figured out? I felt I had Paunovic pegged. I felt I had Wiki pegged. And I just did not rate them, and I thought that they just weren't going to last. And lo and behold, time turned out to be right. With Ezra, I actually still do not have a feel for how this is going to go, which is an interesting place for me to be in, where I was so sure of Paunovic is, floundering in one season, even with the Bastian Schweinsteiger and all this kind of stuff, and Wiki and all that, all this stuff, it just didn't something didn't seem like it wasn't going to work. And, time worked out right. But I'm still not sold yet, or still not there yet, that Ezra is going to be some sort of complete failure or complete success. I still don't know yet.
We don't know yet, because the problem is that Ezra, he kept sticking to the same formation. You would think that as a first-year coach, especially first time being coach, and you're seeing that your team's on a 10-game, losing streak or winless streak, or even before that, you could say 5-game winless streak. You would think that he'll adjust formations, be more attacking, try different players around, because let's be honest, first-year coaches in the MLS, they usually get a kind of a bye year. I mean, they have a chance to experiment. Obviously, if you do really bad in the beginning of the season where you haven't won games and you haven't won any games since the start of the season, obviously you get fired. But if you put up some decent results, you kind of have a little bit more flexibility, which means you could experiment a little bit with different formation, different tactics, different players, and go from there. And we haven't seen that from Ezra.
But what have we seen from Ezra that's good? That what have we seen from Ezra that's promising? Because there's still something about it. There's something about his temperament. There's something about his knowledge of MLS that I'm still like.
You're waiting to see?
I still could see that's there. I don't know yet if he is going to work out as an MLS head coach. This could be his one and only, his one and done, or if it is his one and done, it's because it was a long success, or was it because it was a quick failure? I
mean, we've seen coaches that don't work out as a head coach. I mean, one example is like BRZRKR. He actually coached the Fire for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did okay, and I think after 2 or 3 seasons, it just didn't work out for him, and he ended up going back to becoming an assistant coach for, I think he became an assistant coach for Bruce Arena. I'm not sure who, but he went back to becoming an assistant coach because he couldn't work out as a head coach. And FC Neo Tokyo is on. He should be getting on this chat. We should be having discussions here.
Oh, heck yeah. Slide into the Discord. Woo! And we could get into this a little bit more. I had on the back burner what a little extra time, which it's gonna just talk about week 1, but right now we could just shelve that and just dig into what we need to get out of the Fire out of this week. What the Fire should be planning as for like goals, because they have to have goals. What's the true goal this season? Because championship's not a goal this season. I feel like establishing their identity is still a goal. Bringing fans in to identify with this project is still a goal. Scoring goals,
winning
a goal. Winning, a goal. Just making the playoffs, a goal.
Winning should be a big thing, because winning will be the one. It's the thing that puts butts on the seats, and we've seen that happen. I know the Fire. I guess there's rumors going around throughout different media, social media platforms about Fire's attendance being horrible for opening day for home opener. Someone was saying that there was around 7,000 to 8,000 people or tickets sold so far, which is not much, and this was about a week or 2 weeks ago, and the thing about it is that I guess the ticketing department ended up going all crazy, and I got emails from BOGO saying, hey, go to a Fire game for $10, or hey, buy a ticket and then buy the next one for 15. And people were getting tons of ticket offers. And now, besides the fact that they're going to give away like 10,000 flags with the new jersey pattern on it, they're now going to give away Girl Scout cookies to get people to come to the game.
Wow. And I'm still not going DPG. Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of people are keen to going to a game that's going to be at the start of March when the temperature is probably going to be around the 30s in Lake Michigan, next to Lake Michigan
Yeah, lousy
at
March
night.
weather.
Yeah, and it's going to be at night, so you're not even going to get any of the sun to kind of warm you up. So for those listeners out there, I recommend you bring more than a hoodie, because if you lived in Chicago long enough, you'll know that that cold air that blows from the lake is no joke. No joke at all.
It'll get into your clothes. So you need like stuff underneath your clothes. You need, underoos. What are they called? Long underwear, long johns. Looks like there might be some snow on Friday. There's a threat of snow, and then Saturday 41, Sunday 42, highs of 42. So it could be.
Yeah, don't even I tell people, don't, just because you think, oh, it's just gonna be 41. It's gonna be 41 during the day when there's sun, but once it hits nighttime,
it's 7:30 game.
It's a 7:30 game.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get cold, and I actually learned my lesson once on this. So me and my wife, or then girlfriend, we went to a Cubs game, a night Cubs game. And I only brought a hoodie, and she brought like a really small, like a thin jacket, because it wasn't that cold. It was maybe in the 50s, right? Upper 40s, mid 50s, whatever. We get to the game. Our seats are on the second level at Wrigley. And boy, man, was it cold. I was shivering.
And what are you going to do then? Like, how do you... It's like at that point, you're either buying a blanket at the gift shop for $65, or you're like getting a hot dog, or a hot chocolate.
And the crazy thing about it is that because you're in an elevated position, I mean, I'm sitting in the club section at Soldier Field, so I'm in an elevated position. I'm in the second level. You feel it a lot more in the second level. I mean, you're still gonna feel it in the first level because you're right next to the lake, but you feel it a lot more in the second level. Because that's what I felt when I was at Wrigley. I felt that cold air just hit me sitting in the second level. And then ironically, when I went, when we left the game, because if we ended up leaving early, we're like, this is too cold. We were okay when we hit to the street level. We were fine. It's just weird how the wind works,
Yeah, I mean, you're just ready to go. It's just, I mean, it cuts to the bone. Chat saying that sorry, Bud. FC Neo Tokyo saying sorry, Bud. Real life happened tonight, but he's able to lurk in the chat a little bit. Brimstone Cup or bust for the Fire. Chicago is expensive. T-Mobile hooked it up with that sweet MLS package, so that's how he's going to be enjoying MLS. And that's awesome of T-Mobile. I think that was a kind of a cool deal.
Yeah, I told my brother about it. He doesn't even have T-Mobile anymore. Everybody I told this to, like, oh, I don't have T-Mobile. I'm like, okay, wow.
How do you reckon this transition has gone over with, how many people do you think that Apple's gotten to subscribe?
Well, I mean, the word of mouth, if the word of mouth spreads with the T-Mobile offer, a lot of people are going to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to, even people that, might not even watch a lot of soccer, they'll just do it just to do it. And I think now I think I read an article that now there's bars now that are going to show the game because they're going to work something out with Apple and DirecTV or something. So yeah.
Do you think the Fire have a chance this season with their current roster, or do you think are they lacking key pieces, like once again similar to last year? And that for me, Ezra might have not been dealt a full deck last year.
You know what? They still need a DP9, and I think by the looks of it, they're gonna wait till the summer for that signing. I think we have enough to get through the spring. But you could tell that we need a designated striker. We need a guy we need a Cucho Hernandez type player. That's just the bottom line. Even though we got this U22 player, we have Kamara. We need a guy that's prolific scorer. We need a guy that can step up all the time.
We need a guy who's a game changer.
Exactly. Because as much as I like this U22 pick that they got, at the end of the day, it's a project. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that are putting expectations on him to be as good as Duran, calm down a bit. Don't get hyped up because the kids just Duran was a different beast altogether. Duran was already being looked at. This kid is they're saying that he's a good talent in Greece, but I mean he's had what 5 goals in like 16 games, which is not bad if you're a youth player coming off the bench. But if we're expecting this kid to go on a lineup all the time and score goals all the time, we're pretty much setting him up to fail because what if he doesn't produce, or what if, you know, you could do that's how you derail development of players, doing stuff like that, just putting that pressure on them to produce every week. And this is why it's important for the Fire to get a DP9. Yes, Kamaro's there. I'm good with Kamara, but the thing, Kamara is not going to give you 90 minutes. He might give you 45 minutes. The guy is hitting 38.
Who do you think's going to get more minutes, Kamara or Prishabilko over the through the season?
I honestly think that they're probably going to start off with Shabilko at the start of the season. The moment he goes on a drought, like a 3-4 game drought, they're going to pull the plug and they're probably going to bring in Kamara or even the U22 player on as a starter.
The new kid,
the
new Greek kid.
Giorgio. I'm just going to call him Georgios.
Georgios Koutsias, yes.
Yes, yeah, Georgios Koutsias, yes. So I could see, and this is something that was brought up with Ezra, saying because currently he's waiting for a visa to get here, and that process could take weeks. We don't know how long it's gonna take. It could take a week. It could take 3-4 weeks. We don't know yet. And depending how his condition is when he gets here, is it gonna depend whether or not you're gonna send him to Fire 2. I mean, because he's been playing. Right. He's been playing regular. He's been playing with his with his previous team, but now he's at a weird like a holding pattern, waiting for the visa to come for you to join the team. So we don't know how long it's gonna take. And even when he gets here, depending how his conditioning is, he might not play for a few weeks. He might be in Fire 2 to kind of get some rhythm. So we're gonna be stuck with Kamara and Shabilko. And BRZRKR, because I guess BRZRKR is probably going to be up on the line on the bench, which means that we at that point, it's kind of hard to imagine that a lot of goals are not going to be coming from the striker role, but it's going to be coming from our midfield.
We also have this Haile Selassie new guy. I wonder where he's going to be getting a lot of his time out. I wonder if he'll be seeing time on the wing or maybe spot stuff at striker as like a false 9.
Well, I mean, you also have Torres. You got Torres coming back from injury, and apparently he's actually pushing himself to be a much better player. I think from what I heard, he hired a personal trainer and he hired a chef. So he's trying to be a much better player than he was last year. And he's gonna have more help. He has additional outside of work help.
It's gonna come down to either him or Gutierrez, Torres or Gutierrez, for that position. Because I think Mueller's a lock. Shaqiri's a lock.
Mueller's a lock. Shaqiri's a lock.
And Navarro, Federico Navarro is probably a lock. And to the left, it's either Jimenez.
It's not gonna be guy.
Or Pineda.
I have a feeling it's going to be Navarro and Pineda in the middle. I don't think Gaston's going to start right away. He's coming back from injury.
Wait, Jimenez?
Gaston Jimenez, yeah.
Wait, he had another injury?
No. According to Ezra, everybody's 100%. But I have a feeling that they're going to start Pineda and they're going to start Fede Navarro on the midfield. Maybe they'll bring in Gaston from the bench. As far as that right side, so let's talk about this. Actually, people were saying, "Oh, why don't you just put Jairo Torres in the middle and put Shaqiri on his natural role on the right spot?" Yes, you could do that, but that's Shaqiri with his calf injuries. I mean, that's asking a lot now at that point. That's at that point, you're asking for a guy to be running back and forth, and I don't think Shaqiri has it in him to run back and forth.
If him and Torres pulled a lot of switcheroos, maybe it would work. But
And we don't know what we're gonna get with Torres. I mean, yeah, he's getting ready to start, but we don't know what we're getting with Torres. Guti is Guti is probably the better option. But I mean, are we gonna get the Guti that was really good in the middle of the season, or are we gonna get the Guti that was kind of falling off a bit towards the end?
that's the question, because Guti's got to be pushing Torres for that roster spot, for that starting position.
Yep.
That's the roster battle right there. It's gonna be Guti versus Torres, Kamara versus Prishabilko, Mueller and Shaqiri are locks. We're locking Navarro, and you're locking in Pineda in next to him. You're saying that that's going to be a lock, or are you saying that's kind of going to be a little position battle between him and Jimenez?
I mean, I think a lot of times last year when we talked, I think we were in agreement that Pineda and Navarro did a much better job than Gaston and Navarro.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Neither midfield was all that great, stupendous. They're both not that great, but the Navarro Pineda midfield seemed a little bit better.
Yeah. As far as the back line, now at that point you got to wonder if they're going to start Tehran or they're going to start Omsberg.
Yeah, Omsberg coming back from injury. I think that Tehran's still going to start.
Yeah, Tehran's probably going to start because he's probably the guy that has a bit more playing time from last year. But that's not to say that Omsberg's right on his heels. Like if Tehran messes up one game, I could see, Omsberg starting over Tehran.
Well, you got to give him a little bit longer leash than that. But if he messes up a few times, then maybe that's when you do pull that. I think Suke, Suke's supposed to be good. How good do you think Suke is going to be? Do you think will be an improvement over Boris Sekulic?
I think he will be an improvement over Boris. Boris was not bad. He was a decent right back, but the amount of money that the Fire were paying, at that point, you're almost close to DP level. He wasn't close to DP level. He was more or less like a 200-300K kind of guy. My big question is the left side. Navarro doesn't have a whole lot of competition, so technically, Navarro's kind of locked in. If the Fire get a left back, a true natural left back, then there'll be some competition, and that could raise the game for Navarro. Because it seems that every year Navarro gets a little bit better, but not to a point that he's a lock like Mueller.
That's the thing. We got to see significant leaps forward out of Navarro this season, and I think early.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, all right, let's bring in the next project. But you got to remember, he's very young. He's 22.
And the thing about it is that he's been he's a liability.
That's the big thing. He has been a constant liability.
And if you're the thing that always kind of irks me a little bit about him is that it could be the minute 20th and he'll get a yellow card early in the game. It's things like that. Like, you don't need to get a yellow card so early in the game, because that just messes up Ezra's plan or whatever he's trying to do. And now you have that over your head, and all it takes is one bad tackle to get another one, and that's it. Now the team's shorthanded. But yeah. But on that note, I'm gonna call it a night because I gotta go do family stuff. But it was nice talking to you, James.
Thank you for stopping by, DPG.
Yep. You have a good night.
All right. Are you going to enjoy the game on Sunday or Saturday?
I will actually.
Go enjoy it. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this one. We'll figure it out here in the future. But dude, go enjoy, have fun. What's your score prediction and who?
So it's gonna be 2-1 Fire. Mueller's gonna get on the score sheet, and Kamara.
Welcome to Chicago. Oh yeah, a little dance. I'm in. Little celebration. Sounds like a plan, DPG.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you for stopping by, brother.
Yep. Bye.
That was DPG 10+ year season ticket holder stopping by, talking a little fire, spitting a little fire, a little facts, getting excited for Saturday, 7:30, Soldier Field. All right, guys, look at this lineup. This is what we're gonna go with right now. This is the DPG. Yeah, I think this is the DPG lineup. Let's double check. No, it's not. Not quit. I just want to check out my roster. Yeah, Squad Hub. That's what I'm looking for. Because there's financial. Thank you. Sorts. Pineda. Look at this. Is a loan. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's get Pineda re-signed. So he signed for 2-1. 7-2, 4-2. Pineda. Let's see. Set 1-2-8. Okay, 2-8 right there. So contract negotiation. We'll dig right in. Little T. Oh yes, it's me, Ted Lasso. It's great to see you both. Thanks for coming. Please make yourselves comfortable. Hi, Ted. Hi, Coach. Please call me Ted. Now, let's get this right out of the way. You're an important part of the Chicago Fire. But I just wanted to say, what if we just offered you rotation? Does that sound about right? Be happy here in Chicago. Well, you see, there ain't no problem here. No problem here, but with Coach Ted. Well, understood. Look, there's a lot of competition in places in the club, so now that we've agreed to his role in the team, let's talk about that length of contract. In terms of contract, we think a 5-year extension would be reasonable. It's French fried potatoes. Our client's not comfortable with that length. Well, let me just slide this number on over for you. How about a 4-year? 4-year. We want to keep you in Chicago. We want to turn you into a legend in Chicago. So, excellent. Moving on. 2.8 release clause. We don't need one of those pesky release clauses, do we? Come on, Mauricio. You know better than that. Excellent. Let's move on. Now, as for wages, we're going to offer you a fine wage, $2.8 a week with a nice, tasty 10K signing bonus. Little tasty signing bonus right there. Might be able to get yourself one of those Kia Sorrentos I've been hearing them all talking about. Yeah. That's a reasonable offer. You happy with that? It's a deal. It's a deal. Let's get it going. All right, I'll see you practice. Happy to get you in here. I mean, keep you, Mauricio. Keep you in the fold. You know what I mean. Building for the future. Chicago Fire sign a real one. Let's go over these 2-year contracts and double check if there's anybody we need to have signed for the long term. I mean, Suke looks really good. Gaston Jimenez. He's our resident DP, and he's only 73, but I think we got to sell him. It might be something we consider. That's all. Do we hand out any other contracts? Maybe Chris Brady. Let's just take a look. See, so 1.5, 3.9 for Arnaud, 8, yeah, 8, 3.7 for Gaston. You can take them. You can have them. 4.4 Spencer Rich. You can have them. Carlos Turan. I think I'm going to restructure Ooh, dude, some of these guys got filthy. Well, if their release clause gets activated, we'll deal with it then. Connor saying he binged the first Ted Lasso seasons when he got Apple TV along with the season pass. I fell in love with Ted and AFC Richmond. Feel it in my bone. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeedy. Gaston with the 3.7 market value. That's about peak for you, isn't it? 2.6. So what about our other really nice fella or not? 2.7, 2.6, 2.7. Incredible. Things you'd love to see. Right? Right, folks? How pleasant. I think we could worry about those contracts a little wee later. Let's continue. We need to save. Can we save? Save the game. MLS 23. Give me some of them French fried potatoes. We're gonna advance, make our move into come on. Where the hell is the calendar? I'm so tired of this. I want to play a fucking game. No. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh, there's so much free time for activities. We need a transfer, boys and girls. We got money. We're bringing in a DP9, right? Let's identify. We need a DP9. We would like a right wing upgrade. And let's get a left back upgrade. Pause it for 1 second, guys. All right. All good. Thank you for bearing with me. Tim Weah on loan. Oh, let's look at Tim Weah. So we need Coach Beard. You want to hear a joke? What does a British owl say? Hoot, hoot, hoot. What does a British owl say? Hoot, 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 hoot. Let's see. We're gonna go. We need a striker, we need a right winger, and we need a left back. And I think our right winger is going to be Tim Weah. Let's see if we can bring him in on loan. Tim. Wait, does Tim Weah not exist? Oh, his name's Timothy. All right, he might not come in, but let's try it. We'll add him to the list. That could be our right winger. Now, we need a left back. We need a left back or striker. We're going to take a look at Lewandowski. We're going to keep him on the list. All right? Let's keep Lewandowski on the list. Sorry, you're just on my list, okay? You know who else has to be on the list? CR7. We just gotta keep an eye on them. If we could bring them into Chicago just for a season, why would we not? We would be foolish not to, right? And Leo Messi, even though Inter Miami will probably try to snag him. Leo, give me that Messi. Lionel Messi. All right, we're just adding him. You know, just for shits and giggles. Might need to buy him on a perm. I think he's like 4 to 7 mil. We have the money. We could bring Tim Weah back and make him have a launching pad onto a better club in Europe, right? I thought he might be loaned out from PSG onto the team he's on now. I'm not sure. We'd have to double check. All right, let's look at American strikers. Let's reset this. We're going to go to strikers. Wait, sign Jordan Morris? No. Jordan Morris for a right winger. I mean, let's take a look at USA. Taylor Booth. Wait, that's it? Something must be wrong here. No. I mean, what's going on here? Yeah, we got Haji. Ooh, Haji with that. Let's add Haji. Mason Toya. Joshi Sargent. We'll add him. Christian, you're just going to keep him on the list, you know. Got to keep him on the list. Ooh, Matthew Hoppy. Let's put him on the list. Although maybe he just got loaned out. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Diego, Daryl Dyke. You know, we'll add Daryl Dyke. Wait, sign Jordan Morris. Then we could have more cubes. So let's take a look at midfield. Brendan Aronson. Tyler Adams. Uzio. Aaron Duke. Durkin. Flack. Hawk. Harper. Hidalgo. Ledesma. Georgie. Yunus Musa. Gio Reyna. Malik Tillman. This is fun. Luca Delot. Oh, we don't have enough room? Oh, he's there. Watch the name. The word you said is another word for lesbian. His name is pronounced Deeki. Deeki. D-E-K. D-E-K. Daryl Deeke. Daryl Deeke. Daryl. First of all, Dyke is a word. It's not just a word for what you say it is. It's a word for a thing that blocks a river. But like the dike is broken and the water is coming through and flooding the farmland, for instance. But DK Daryl DK, gotcha. But I do love words, etymology, and history, and all that stuff. See how Perente. So I feel like we've done a good Aiden Morris. I feel like we've done a good job. Weston, that's what I was looking for. No, I was looking for Weston McKinney. There he is. All right, we've added him. Way to tiptoe. I'm bull in the china shop sometimes. We still need a left back. George Bello was a shout that we had heard on the old Twitters. There's Will Sands, Columbus. Should we steal Will Sands? Take a look. Sam Vines. Let's see if there's anything here. Maybe in the midfield. Paxton. Whoa. For 3 mil. Fabian. He's ripping counters. I didn't mean to. I was just explaining that there's other definitions. Kevin Paredes. We'll add him. Yaya Toure. You better believe we're adding Yaya. Look at that. No, wow. We're adding Yaya Toure's son, I think. He's American? Whoa. Nah, you were after a Columbus player. Oh no, if I come in after because I'm coming after. Oh, I was going after that right the left back. Oh, I don't care. Some people are. It's all good. No. 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 Or should we pilfer someone's? We're looking for a left back. That's what we're looking for, right? We don't have to make it American. It could be anybody else. You know who we could go get? Let's do this. Little reset. Little someone. Well, I mean, let's just put him on the list. Little guy named little someone named Hanzo Davies. Accent, what up? Doing a little preparation, trying to beat the AIs and see what we can do to get Chicago Fire to win MLS this season. Who do we have to bring in? Who do we fix this team with? That's the question. And let's take a quick look at our squad before we start making moves. We got 30 million. Joe is giving us some money to fuck with. So we are starting Turan next to Chico's. We like that. We got Suke. We can maybe even find an upgrade there for Turan. But don't we want him to grow so we can maybe offload, sell, not offload, but sell, look to sell some of these guys and maybe let Gutierrez grow, maybe let Torres grow. I mean, we need a place in our patch of our garden where the smaller plants can grow into bigger plants, where the big plants can already be. And, you know, it's all that. How to make Chicago win. Incoming match fixing scandal. That'll be... I don't even want to speculate. Left back, I don't know about Navarro, though. Or we could spend the money and all in and just go all in on one guy. All right, let's let it run and let's get some squad back. Yeah. Okay. Let's run this training day. We'll get some squad or some scouting reports back here, which is what we really need. Fine. What's with this training day? I don't fucking Jiminy. This is so annoying. Every day. Yeah. Get me here. Don't care. Zoom along. Thank you. We got some, there we go. There we go. Got some scouting reports. What we needed. Will Sands. See if there's Gonna be some nice cheap players. All right, players affordable, but also and like some value players. But then again, a lot of money to play with. Connor says go after James Sands. His loan at Rangers ended, and he's back at NYC. Maybe we go after James Sands. Let's add him to the list. James. Oh, James. All right. They're the same age? Are they twins? Oh, he's still on loan in the game, unfortunately. Can we just like zoom through this? Can I get some scouting reports back or what? Yes, get me some scouting reports back. Also, training days are for players hitting their potential numbers. Oh, that's what it helps for. See if we get some mail. There we go. Got a loan offer for Turan. Let's just deny that. Oh, we'll consider it. All right, let's consider it. Loan to buy. They're coming in with a loan to buy. Okay, what's going on here? Well, what? See, you're not really telling me the details. Club Atletico is interested in loaning this player with an option to buy. Your offered fee varies based on the wage split and loan length you agree with them, so you must negotiate or delegate the terms of the deal. Do we want to loan out to Ran? Let's go to our transfer hub. Also, our scouts. I think that yeah, we need another scout here. Get Evan Williams. I mean, he's just good. This is the nice sneaky move there. Everything else could be cheap. Okay, boom. Get him into the Prem, right? Just start stealing some Prem talent. Maybe German league. What? All right. Let's go to the transfer hub. You loan them. You either need them. You can loan them. You need either a backup or a starting CB. I'm thinking maybe we loan Turan, and because if they're offering that, we could bring in a better center back to start now. We got the money to make some good supreme value moves and make this team go from basement dweller to good in a few moves. It's gonna take some moves that we might be uncomfortable to make. Oh, this is awesome. Look at this button. Start scouting. I love that. That is so sick. That is such a great addition. I think I missed Weston, so we'll just scout him. All right, we got some good options here. Center back. I mean, James Sands is listed as center back? This doesn't make sense. I thought he's a left back. We'll see what's going on there. Will Sands over at left back. Sam Vines. Alfonso. All right, so let's go to this and let's negotiate. Let's negotiate. Let's think about this. We could always terminate the loan. I'm pretty sure. All right, we have a serious discussion here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Why don't we get started? Now, got some water here. Got a little bit of cake. Made it myself. Now, you want a loan with option to buy. We'll consider it. let's talk numbers. Let's talk numbers. So 2-year loan with a 2-year option to buy. So you want to hold us hostage for 2 years, kind of 2 years. Now this is a wee bit of a problem here. A bit of a humdinger. I almost want to say 1 year if you're going to hold us hostage, because no doubt he will grow and exceed your expectation, and maybe even exceed the price tag that we have set upon him, at which point we would like to gain value. So if you want to buy him, you got to meet his price. So let's see what you're going to say. Okay. You can't afford his full wage, but you want to pay for his services later. Let's see. Consider. You want us to take 40%. I think we could work with that. We could take on 40%. Now, his transfer fee. This is where we have to extension. What is this? Counter. We must propose a new transfer fee. It's got to be 2 million. $2 million. You want them? After that, we'll accept it. I would say no, and in fact, I'm not budging on that number. And there's a reason. And it's because we believe in Carlos Turan. Non-negotiable. If you want him, like I said, you said 2 years. Now I told you this would be this. All right, I'm gonna offer you one last tortilla here to finish your taco, okay? And then we're gonna have to wash our hands of this, and maybe get some rice and beans and a margarita. I'm offering you 2 million. Sticking to a price. Told you, believe. Not gonna work. Well, it's the same. Had to hear it. Hope you enjoyed the water cake I made. And looking forward to future business with you. Disappointed it didn't work out this time. Nope. I'll let the lad know. Don't worry. I'll go talk to him. Carlos, I'm sorry. The loan offer fell through. See, I wanted to take you away from us, and you weren't too sure about that. We definitely want to support your growth. We definitely want to support your development. Now that's critical to us. But we weren't sure it was the right move for you or for the Chicago Fire. And obviously, believed in you, they would have met our price. We didn't ask. We asked for what we know you are, or a fair offer. And so, all we can do. All right, Coach Ted. Deadline day. What the fuck? That's not true. Oh, it can't be deadline day. Oh, please don't be deadline day. Oh, transfer window closed. That's not true. It's open till like April. That's such bullshit. Malarkey. Guys, we have 10 hours to strike a deal. All right. There it is. We got 10 hours. Strike a deal. Sign Becky G and receive Leggett in the deal as well. I have to think about it. All right. So Let's look at release clauses and see if there's any deals. Any secret deals on release clause? $6 million for Haji Wright, but he's $3 million in value. Paxton for $3 million. Cole Bassett for 6. Kevin Paredes 4-6. James doing his best Heights impersonation with the panic buys. Oh, dude, we're absolutely about to panic buy. We have 30 million. Yes, we do. All right, so once again, we need a left back. We need a striker. Let's take a look at striker. We got Daryl DK. Ooh, Daryl DK, boys and girls. Joshy Sargent. Ooh. Ooh, Joshy Sargent. I am thinking about you. Yes. Oh, yes, I am. Haji is an option. Look at that. We have 30 million. Georgie for 17 million. They wouldn't sell him for. Would you believe it? Georgie. Looking good. 17 million for Brendan. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but save it for summer. You can scout players throughout the whole season. Tokyo saying don't spend let's spend 10 to 20%, which is 2 million. Let's find a guy. Let's find somebody for that left back. Maybe even striker. Maybe even right wing. I mean, should we not spend 20 million for Yunus Musa right now? Should we just not just pay that? Tim Weah. That's too expensive. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can get on a budget here. Okay, we can get Will Sands to compete for pretty cheap. Herrera. Let's see. Herrera's good. We're definitely going to save money. I'm not going to spend all of it. We'll save like 28 mil, 27 mil. I'm looking at Yaya. I'm thinking about grabbing Yaya Toure. Right? Bring in Yaya. Oh, he's not good. He's only fast. We don't need midfielders. For 2 million, you could go get Dax, Zardes, and a kid at left back. Yeah, see, like, I think you're right. Like, we could let's do a budget window. This window, and we'll go big next window. He's on loan. I'm thinking about offering for Daryl or Josh. Ooh, Josh looks good, boys and girls. I mean, dude, guys, why would we not offer 6 million for Josh? Joshy, he starts. Something to think about. I'm thinking about offering 6 million for Josh. Let's offer. Let's just punt one. Let's punt one over. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Why don't we get started? Yeah, hey. My lord, Josh. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Josh's agent. Here's some water. It's nice. Fiji. from Asia. Now, let's just get him. We're gonna offer him a couple million. We'll offer you 5 million for the lad services, straight up. 5 million, Josh. You want a sell-on clause? Want one of those pesky sell-on clause? Well, how about this? Instead of one of those sell-on clauses, I'm gonna tack on 100,000. We remove that pesky sell-on clause. 5-1, putting it out there, no sell-on. You get that 6% right up front. It's right there. Are we in the deal? All right. It's not a done deal. By any means, we have not agreed to bring in Josh Sargent. We could still let that fall through. But for 5,100,000, we could bring in Josh Sargent to play right wing for us. Actually, guys, he could come in and play right wing for us right now. He would be my DP. Oh. I'm thinking I bring in Josh Sargent as our DP right winger. Or, I mean, at least something tasty. We could sign him in for Gam. We could sign him for Gam Tam. Yes, indeedy. And we'll still have our DP 20 million striker available. I'm liking this. I'm liking that idea. We haven't committed to it yet. Bello. He's got a hospital thing next to him. That is not enticing. St. Vines, Davies, Sands. I thought James Sands played left back. Does James Sands play left back or does he play center back? Now, FIFA out here telling me he plays center defensive mid. But could I bring him to Chicago and place him at left back? That's my question. Chat. Or should I go after Mr. Will Sands here, stealing from that yellow team? See if he can compete. I want something a little better. I want something just a little better. I'm very much thinking about this Joshy Sargent deal. Quite lucrative. Haji. Daryl DK. They want him for much more expensive. But I'm thinking that we could bring in Mr. Joshy, plays right wing for us. That'd be excellent. Now, James Sands is that's the interesting one. What if I just go and offer them $1 million? Sargent plays striker or we riot. If you want to see B, I'd go after Cameron Carter. No, see, we're thinking about saving money for. We're thinking about saving money for the summer. But then again, we do have people we can sell, like Gaston Jimenez. All right, let's add Cameron to the list. We'll add him to the list. But that might be too good. My question is James Sands' character. Do we go after him? Do I just throw a few million at James Sands? They don't really say how much they want for him, but like, can't be much, right? I mean, 1 million here. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, he's on loan. We can't bring in Mr. James Sands. That's just disappointing. Cameron will approach to buy. Damn it. We can't approach Sands. It's 1.3. But we are going to approach Cameron Vicas here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Why don't you decide you want some Fiji water here? Luke had it flown in special for this meeting. Now, we want to offer a transfer fee. Cameron. We had from a source that we could get him in here for around 7 million. Well, how does that sound? 7 million? That'd be a figure we could agree on. Sorry to waste your time. Unfortunate, we couldn't get a deal done. I'm okay with leaning on our center backs, our current center backs, but unless there's somebody else out there. Let's type in USA. We only have a few hours. Take a look at some US center backs. I like our left back selection so far. Look at release clauses. See if there's anybody interested. Oh, Justin Glad is on there. Got some interesting names here. All right, let's go through them. Reggie Cannon. That's an interesting one. Justin Glad. Matt Hedges. Stop me if you see some Trusty. CCV. I love Austin Trusty. I'll look at Austin Trusty for sure. And Mackenzie. Miazga. Owensburg has that. Zimmerman. All right, so let's go to Trusty. He's on loan. So we won't be able to get Trusty. Mark McKenzie. Well, how much do we think we got to offer for Mark? We don't know much about Mark, but we could potentially bring him in. So, Mark, we're going to have to just take a shot in the dark. My guess is, my guess in Zim would be 3.5 and 4.5. Zimmerman was 11 mil. If you want to go after a goalkeeper, bring back Turner. No, I'm not doing a goalkeeper. I'm sticking with Brady. So Mark McKenzie. Mark is about 2.5. We'll offer 2.2, right? Let's start a deal there. 2.2 to sign Mark. Can we agree on that? No. Wow. Denied. We haven't looked at any goalkeepers though, but I want to stick with I want to stick with Brady. I want to give him a chance. Even though he's 60 overall and might not work in FIFA, he is one guy that we are definitely going to invest in, I think. And I think we bring in. I think our first signing is starting to materialize in Joshy Sargent here, boys and girls. Go back to the lineup. We got Vines here. We got to think about Vines. Will Sands. Oh, I like that work rate. Let's see if we can bring in Mr. Whoa. We could just pay money and bring in Sam. We could just say, hey, eat that cost. We don't know how much he is going to cost. Just eat that cost, bring in Sam Vines as our left back. That's a starting left back right there. Guys, hear me out. I'm thinking we bring in Sam Vines. We pay the 3-5. We bring in, along with him, we bring in Joshy Sargent. That's our transfer window. We get our left back. We get our starting right winger. We have 20 million left for summer. 20 million to make an impact. I'm thinking that's what we do. You know what? Just pay it. Just pay it. All right, boys. Guys, we have 2 deals. We have 30 million. Let's just double check the transfer kitty. Right there. Budget. Okay. I think we got transfers lined up. We have Sam Vines, Josh Sargent. Thinking about it, chat. Wait for, I think those are our 2 moves. And then we'll save the rest of the dough. We'll bring in Josh Sargent, play over here on right wing. Oh, wow, look, guys, Kamara already lost one. There's Bilko, 2. No. Okay, maybe Joshy Sargent starts up top because they would riot. Love it. Buy a few bus and billboard ads and call them the truth. I'm liking these signings, guys. But we still need to identify a goalkeeper. So let's look at. Hold on. Who did Connor say? Turner? I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's coming. That's not Turner. Sorry, boys and girls. Matt Turner. Add to the list. But you know who could come back? Who's the who was the former Columbus goalkeeper? Who was overtaken by Turner? What's his name? I think he plays for Man City. Is that right? I don't remember. Columbus Crew goalkeepers, U.S. men's national team. Zach Steffen. How did I forget that? Let's pull up Zach. Let's get him on the list. Oh, he's on loan. That's going to be problematic, but we'll put him on the list. What other goalkeepers? Let's go to the... Yeah, let's go here. Although we're not bringing in a goalkeeper this time. If there's any transfer listed, Tim Malia. Guys, do we bring in Tim Malia? Like right now? We could bring him in right now for dirt cheap. None for loan. Stefan, but he's on loan. So maybe we bring in Stefan in the future. Joe Bendick. No, I want release clauses. Bono. That might be a steal. Steve Clark. Eric Dick. He's a dick. Sean Johnson. JK. John Klinsman. Do we bring anybody back? Bring back the milkman and let him retire. I think we just do that. I'm pretty sure we just do that. Right? Right? Chat. We bring back the milkman. All right, I think we have our transfers. Guys. Let's go. Okay, this thing developed. We didn't realize. Yes, sorry, we're just bringing them in. What happened? Okay, hold on. All right, cool. So we got these three: Sean Johnson, Josh Sargent, Sam Vines. We're going to bring Sean Johnson to help bring along Chris Brady. We're going to bring in Joshy Sargent to lead the line at striker. And Sam Vines, he's going to run rampant at left back. All right, let's start. Let's start with Josh. Mr. Joshy Sargent. I flew into England. Yes, I've been here before. Josh. Cole. It is Cole, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Terrence. I always get these things mixed up. So, Terrence, Joshy, my boy. How crucial do you feel to Chicago? When I did that, good. That's what we had in mind. 2 years now. Don't you say nothing about them pesky 2 years. How about them 3? 3. And within those 3 years, should someone come a-calling, someone say like, Chelsea, or Birmingham City, or Wrexham, in a few years' time when they're making their Premier League play, or Leeds United, say hello, and we'll be happy to accept an offer. But when it comes to release clauses, we say nay. We don't do those here. They call it the French in us. I just... Yes, I know this is Chicago and we do like deep dish pizza, but we are a cosmopolitan few. Now, as for... Wow, you really want the whole kit and caboodle down, don't you? So... 20 gold. Get the bonus. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. $16K. What do you boys think? Josh. Let's knock that down to 15. Bump that up to 200. No. Fix that. Whew. That was dangerous. Nice, cool 200. Apply that. Let's edit the bonus. Yeah, I think so. We knocked out 100K. We gave him a little bit more. What's say? 5K. You make $500,000 if you score 20 for me. Nice little incentive. I like it. Josh, what do you say? 15 mil, 200, 550. Reasonable, agree? Mazda, let's shake on. All right. Yeah, it's probably a bit more planning, but we'll agree to your salary requirements. We'll let Georg deal with the papers and the fancy stuff and making it work on the numbers part, but got you in under DP price. That's what matters. Welcome to the team, Jordan. Happy to work with you. Let's go, boys. Let's work, boys. Let's get to work, men in red. We're here. Loving it. Pass the physical. Let's go score some goals. Number 9. Joshy Sargent here. Yes, he's the number 9. Love it. Big time signing. 5 million. Think of the savings. FC. Good price. I think I got a great price. Great first 11. He goes right into the first 11. Stronger negotiation skills could have saved you 1.3. Best possible deal was 3.8 million. Interesting. Okay. But he's 21 years old. Love it. Okay. So we overpaid for Sean. We're bringing in the milkman. Great to see you both. Thanks for coming. It's an honor. Now, the reason we paid your fee is because we wanted you to retire Chicago Fire. Not only did we want you to retire Chicago Fire, we want you to start and lead this team. We got a great generation here, and we need you back in the fold. Now, Milkman, how you feel about that? You want to be crucial? Well, we will have to accept that. 1 year? Sean, look. Years don't matter here. We're keeping you here for life. After this is over, I'd love to offer you a role in my coaching team. At least that will be on the table, and we'll have to talk about that in the future. We don't need no pesky release clause. That's how you ended up here in the first place. We don't need that kind of situation happening. Nah. So you're making about 6 million. Let's get you on a comfortable 6 million here. How's that sound? 20K, 6K, reasonable? Love to see it. Milkman, Sean, happy to bring you in. I know who else is going to be happy. Wait till you see them, till you hear them fans. Let's go, Sean. John Johnson, he's back in the fold, meeting with Shaqiri and the boys. Let's get it on, let's get in the goal. Gonna lead the boys, lead the men in red to score and stop goals. John Johnson, number 1. He's back. His jersey seems familiar. His crest looks a little different. Whoa, we got a good one. Big time upgrade. Bad negotiation. Yeah, we definitely overpaid for him, but we weren't worried about that. That was not in... Joe told us, don't worry about it. He said he'll sweeten the kit transfer kitty. Great to see you both. Thanks for coming. Sam, we heard a lot about you. Wanted to bring you in here. Wanted to see if you could talk a little numbers and maybe think about coming to Chicago Fire. It's going to be important part of the squad here. I'm glad you're right along with that. Now, we'd like to offer you 5 years, but of course, if somebody wants to come knocking and take your services back overseas, we will not stand in your way. Now, when it comes to those release classes, we have a laissez French style kind of way about us. You know, we just don't do. Those aren't marshmallows. Those are ice cube. Yeah. You can put them in your tea if it's a little too hot. Yeah. No worries. Now, wages, we're gonna bump those up. Because we got a little saying around here at Chicago Fire. It's It's sometimes you got to bump it up, bump it down. And when you bump it down, make sure you bump it in. That's just one of the many sayings we have around here. But see how that applies. And now you will also see how that applies in games. We're giving you a nice little, we'll just keep that as is, yeah. Mid offer, maybe we gave you a little bit too much money, but didn't we? We just give you what you want. Let's go. Let's go earn it. Let's go take it in and let's go win this dang World Cup. Team, I'd like to introduce you to Sam Vines. Sam is the team. Welcome. This is Rebecca, Sam. Glad you met Rebecca. I'll be right back. I'll catch you in just 2 seconds. I got to do some planning here because we are going to be playing Man City. New York City. See what I did there? Be in the Premier League. Bam. All right. Let's go talk to the little tactic. Good to get you in here. Very excited. Very excited. The big upgrade. This was a player I needed. Finance tip. Only play the release clause when you are certain this is the player you need. Some releases clauses can be much higher than the player's value. Well, the Milkman and Sam Vines, I think, were great upgrades. Quick look at the transfer kitty. Look at that. We got 15 million still left. We spent a little bit more than we intended, but I think we did really well. Let's get Brady on the bench and let's bring in Sean John to start. Get Joshy Sargent on the starting bench. I think, do we leave Gutierrez out there? I mean, obviously Kamara's coming down. Kamara, you're down. You're just falling down. Put you over here for now. And Sam Vines. Love to hear it. All right, Sam, welcome to the starting lineup. Let's get these lineups all set and ready. One thing I like to do is get our overalls all in order. So that's that. I think that's, yeah, there we go. Yep. There's one more over gel. Put you place with Dean. All right, cool. I think this is our starters. So we got Prishabilko. Do we start Kamara or Haile Selassie? So Selassie's got that pace, but Kamara's got finishing. Who can cross? Kamara. Kamara can pass a little bit better. He's a little bit more physical. But we need a guy who's pacey, and that's what he's coming in to do. So Haile Selassie, you're staying on there. Okay. Then we got Jimenez and Torres. Okay. Boom. There it is. Would you like to save changes? Yes, I would. I also would like to go to Squad Hub and just double check the numbers for our new players. Sam Vines, you are actually number 3. You're a left back. Arnaud, you're a number 2. Arnaud, you are number 2. And Chicos is 5. Thuran, we're changing. Thuran, we could give you number 24. We could give you 4. Boo this kit man. Boo this man. Key over Casper. Okay, we'll take a look at that. I'm thinking about upping Thuran to 4. There it is. It's been done. We will go take a look at Casper versus Kamara. Wow, Kamara dominates. Look at that. in every way except stamina and strength and attack position. He just dominates here. Better jumping, better sprint, composure. Meanwhile, Kamara and Prishabilko seem to be a little bit more. Still, Kamara just stand out. Yep. There it is. You're starting Chicago Fire. We could drop Pineda for Jimenez, but in fact, let's see if we can get Jimenez on that transfer. We've nobody transfer listed, so let's get our Deadwood transfer listed. And that would be Gaston Jimenez. You are transfer listed. Who else is transfer listed? Casper? Transfer listed. How did you not sell Jimenez? Sometimes they just don't. Let's see who else needs to go. Well, hold on to Fabian. He's a nice little fill-in guy. We could probably sell our other goalkeeper. We could definitely sell our other goalkeeper. Where is he? Richie. Let's see if we get Great Brady on the loan list. Burks on the loan list. We'll add Guti to the loan list. Start you. There we go. Offers. Let's see. We'll advance an hour. I don't know how, but we didn't. BRZRKR offer. Let's see what's going on here. They're interested in a loan to buy, and they are also with him, and a transfer for Shpilka. Okay. Prishabilko might be leaving sooner than expected. So, Victor BRZRKR, let's go negotiate. Hey! Got some water. We don't want to let him go. Oh, okay. I guess that's that. Now, that's already broken. Okay, good. Casper, let's consider this. Do we really want to lose Casper right now? Let's see what they're willing to offer. I'll take 2.5, right? 2.5. 2.5? 2.5. 2.5 it is, all right. Casper might be exiting the club sooner than expected, but that's okay, as we did sign two guys. We signed to Kamara and Josh. That's actually big. That's actually big. See what happens here. Like no changes have occurred. We have some movement. Gaston. Do we want to lose him for 3.7? Wow, was that met really quickly? Gaston is gone for that much. We have to look at that deal. 3.7 for Gaston Jimenez. Maybe we take it. Wow, guys, we're getting screwed on that release clause. Let's make sure we aren't going to get screwed on a couple others. Yep, let's get into some contract renewal with Chris Brady. Chris, Agent, good to see you. Yes, you're just still a prospect, but we just wanted to, well, how about 4 years? If five don't work. See, that's the thing. We don't want no pesky release clause. Yes, let's talk salary. Let's just go for 1. Okay. There we go. You in? You in. Boom. All right, that guy's taken care of. Gotta get rid of these. We gotta get rid of these release clauses. These release clauses are killing us. Absolutely. Sure, just 1 year. Disregard release clause. Let's offer you 7, 20. Reasonable. Beautiful. Whew. We got to get rid of these pesky release clauses. Pyro. Look at this. Turan's going to get screwed. Chico's. We might leave Chico's. I think he'd be okay, but Carlos Turan's going to get pilfered from our team for nothing. Erratic. Yes, yes. Just a 2-year extension. Disregard that. No. We don't do that around here. That's the thing about this. And that's what we wanted to get into. Go. 3, 10. There it is. Boom. Yes. Love it. Okay. Chicos. Torres. Let's see if there's any other ones we got to worry about. I'm not worried about. Are we worried about losing Navarro? I mean, not really. It's okay. I think he'll be fine. Holmesburg will be fine. I think we're okay with losing him. Kendall. Keep that. Spencer. Keep it. All right. I don't know if there's any other ones we got to worry about. I mean, Hyro. Yeah, let's worry about Hyros. Hyro, let's buy that contract down. We got some of that Gamtam. We got some of that Gamtam. Let's put an extra pesky year on that. Disregard that release clause. 5 mil. 5 per week. How's that sound? Beautiful. Jeez, we got to get rid of those pesky release clauses. Ooh, negotiated these. Let's see. Take it. 4-2. I'm worried someone will just pay that. But if they do, we'll get someone younger, right? With that money. Miguel, someone could come in and take you, I think. Arnaud. We're going to have to knock that one off. Man, we're having to do some business, aren't we? Keep these guys safe. 1 year. No, we don't want no. See? We even barely offer him a raise. Hey, perfect. Keeping it low. Chicos. No one will offer that, though. That's the thing. That would be a record, team record. So 3-7, that's fine. 1-5, that's fine. 4-2, we gotta knock that off. Captain Chicos, my main man. I'm just bringing you in here. No, we gotta get it out of here. It's over. How about 1 year? Sure, fine. Let's disregard that lease clause. Let's give you a nice little bonus, little promotion, little rate increase, and boom, you're nice, safe, and my team is no longer at risk of being destroyed by outside forces. There we go. They want to come in for some of these people? Go ahead. Make my day. But if that's the case, then all of a sudden, like, we might have to deal with things. Jimenez will be gone, and Prishabilko will be gone. But we'll have money. So Jimenez, Prishabilko, that ruins a little bit of our depth. We need a center midfielder if we lose Jimenez. We can't lose him for that. We can't lose him for that price. I don't know. Chat, if we lose Jimenez for that right now, like that could affect us the rest of the season. Who do we bring in? Who do we bring in? Drew Yearwood. Ooh. I like this Drew Yearwood. But they're more expensive than what we're rocking. You see? This makes me concerned about losing Gaston for the price we're losing him for. 2 million, we're getting 4 million for him. He's a 73. See, that's the thing. We might have to retain, but if we get rid of Jimenez, use those funds elsewhere. I let this one go through. Anybody not in MLS in this here? All in MLS. Go to the scouts. Maybe they have something here. No. Scout reports. Okay. Position. First team, right back. No, we need center back. We need center midfielder. Okay, let's go to midfielders. See what we got in here. Got some options. Marco Mascati, Justin Merrim, Patea, Amaya. I'm not liking the idea of losing. Oh, Ravel Morrison. I'm not liking the idea of losing Gaston Jimenez for so cheap. And I think we're gonna have to pay to keep him. Unfortunately, like we're losing him for too cheap here. It seems. Feel like we're losing him for too cheap. They're offering 3.7. He's only going to go down. Do we take the 3.7 now? And go after somebody? Thought we had somebody exciting in here. Cam, who was that? I guess it was Cole Bassett. So 4-5. I mean, we could start him. Or at least get him in the fold, man. How tall is he? 5'11", high work rate. Paxton. Paxton is interesting. Bring Paxton back, but he wouldn't start. It'd be, we could spend that Gaston Jimenez money right now. Bring Paxton Aronson back, which almost feels like a good move. Because you could get more money. You could get you could make some money with that move. Brendan for that. I'm thinking about getting Paxton. See, Brendan is guys. I'm thinking about bringing in Paxton. I mean, we already have Shaqiri, so. And he's a cam, unless we move Shaqiri out to the cam role, and then we already have guys there. That's the thing. We don't need. See, losing Gaston Jimenez creates a little bit of a gap on our team. At least it does this season. I'm gonna have to look to retain his services. It's either that or we go get Pat. You know what? He gets sold. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. He gets sold. I might just bring in Paxton. Guti. Loan to buy. We will negotiate. What's with all these loan to buys? Let's not do a loan to buy. Jeez, you only want a loan to buy him? Jesus. Okay. So these have not gone through yet. 2.6, 2.5, 1 million more, 1 million more. Chat, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Those go through. We'll find out right here, right now. I don't think that the deals are going through. I don't think these deals are going through. I think we're retaining those guys. I don't think they left. Broken down. Broken down. That's okay. We'll take that. That's okay. Let's see if we've got any good Americans. We'll add you. Sorry, Colin. We'll leave Eric on the list. Ooh, Stefan or Demetrio. Hey, Demetrio. Do that for now. Bring in Julian. Bring in Crespo, just see what he looks like. That doesn't look good enough. Doesn't look good enough there. And let's take a look. Oh, good, good, good. We're doing some progress. Take a look at the youth. Let's take a look at the academy. Look at that, Crespo. Novak. Crespo. Etrio. Nice. San. Novak. Daniel Novak looks good. Crespo looks okay too. Signing. Love it. All right. No. Cancel. Save. Somehow let's save. Peace. I think we've done it. All right, let's play a game with these guys. Come on, can we play a game? There we go. I see it. New guys in, let's make sure. Vines, Johnson, Sargent. Everybody's still here too, looking good. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Guti. Starting over here. Pineda. San. Torres. Okay, we got options. I would say I will consider it. No, we don't want to do a loan to buy. Propose without loan to buy. Yep, that's it. Okay, well then, see ya. Sorry, not like that with him. Jimenez did not get sold. Take a look at yeah. Look at that. Go to the transfer hub and let's make sure that scouting. Okay, they're good. Hasn't come back yet. Wow. Yeah. Finally. Save. Play our first match with the squad. While we do, let's get updated on this week's MLS.
Extra time is
David Goss, Matt Doyle, Tommy Scoops. Match day 1 in the books. MLS is back. It's off and running. Boys, what's up? How did you experience it? We've been talking about this. I mean, we've been spilling hours upon hours of content for months. 112 days between MLS Cup and match day 1, the kickoff. Doyle, how did it feel to be back?
It felt good. It felt good. I had the pleasure of being in the studio, sitting in the green room, mingling with all the beautiful people, yourself included, and keeping an eye on multiple games at once, which is going to be, look, we've always had to do that on Saturday nights. If you're an MLS freak, I'm not going to use the word sicko because I believe you have actually copyrighted it at this point.
Not yet, but all royalties come to me. Certainly.
Yeah, but so following all the games at once, for my job, like it's a requirement, but also having the 360 show on, which was, I thought it was a really good start. I think that, we'll see them add certain things to it, subtract certain things to it over the course of this year as they figure out what the right balance is. But it was fun, man. Like the biggest takeaway was that it felt like significant. It felt like, really major league. It felt like a level of coverage wall to wall that we've just never had before. And I think for all of us, all the freaks and sickos out there, we've been waiting for something like this for a long time. So I was just kind of gassed by all of it.
Freaks, geeks, and sickos. Tom, I go to you, but I know as soon as I do, some sort of lawn equipment is going to go off in the background, so we'll just sort of we'll have a slow trickle on Tom as part of the show today, just to see
the
what sort of
11:33 to Piscataway.
You guys are putting me on a 2-touch limit. Everything's got to be right back. Get it at your feet. You're dribbling too much. Shut up.
Exactly.
Keep it
exactly.
moving.
We'll get to the best thing we saw. We'll do our overreactions. We'll go through every single game as we always do. Hit the mail. Dave, the feeling that you got when MLS is back, what was it?
I mean, there was two sides to it. It felt like the first day of school where you see all the people you haven't seen forever, right? Everyone's online talking about every game that you're watching, and all of the people that I got to know last year, especially doing MLS Today, where I was sort of reaching into each market and getting to know local reporters, local writers, and then super fans, interacting with them all online. And then the shame of visiting my in-laws and spending the entire Saturday night by myself in the basement. And I didn't even explain it because the Nashville game started so early. I just disappeared for the rest of the day. And then you come back and they're like, are you working? And you think and you go, sort of, but not in the way that you work, how you have built lives with money and income and do things that matter to the world. I'm downstairs tweeting about MLS games. So, I felt back home.
Perfect. You had to hit him up. Like, look, do you guys, your Apple TV, is it updated? You have the latest iOS. That was a big complaint this weekend. I mean, like, you just need to have it updated, folks. Just make sure you have it. I had to do it for myself as well.
Not past that guy.
Tom, anything here? Like, just checking in with you. Do you have sources with Mother Nature, Tom? I forgot to ask you that before the show. If we could have seen El Tráfico being postponed, if we could have seen Portland and SKC being moved to Monday, of course, we won't talk about that on today's show. That would have been nice. That was maybe the one semi-bummer of the weekend, but we get July 4th after that. What's July 4th like in New Jersey, and how will I be experiencing El Tráfico from afar?
Got to get to a barbecue. You got to be outside. That's what it is, man. The great New Jersey. Can you get to the beach? Why don't you come down and hang out with me? Weebie, what are you doing for 4th
Sounds
of
like
July?
Tom's hosting an El Tráfico watch party on July.
That's what it sounds like. Let me, let me talk to the wife, Tom. I won't. Yeah, let me talk to the wife. I won't show her a picture of the mustache. We'll just keep it very generic. Like a good.
This is a classic. I need to talk to the wife. Not gonna bring it up at all to Mindy, and just, oh, sorry. She said we already had plans, man. Then text her saying, "Can we please figure something out for 4th of July?"
I will say on the Portland KC front, unfortunate, but don't hate having another match night to be able to consume MLS.
Agreed.
You get to watch the Knicks beat the Celtics and then immediately jump over.
Let's go.
SKC Portland. It's a perfect Monday night for me.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast, just bounce in between. That's the way it works. So we did have some mail I'll get to right now as people try to find extra time on Apple TV, where we are, of course, now. Matt in the Cream City says, gentlemen, I hope all is well with you. I went to MLS Season Pass to find extra time since you told me I could find you there. We repeatedly told you that. I couldn't find it, so I contacted Apple TV support. They told me that your show is not included with the Season Pass. Apple Season support, we got to talk to you about this. What can you tell me that will help me understand what's going on about this? There is almost nothing I can tell you that would make any sense. I'm going to fall on my sword here. There were some processes, some things on the back end of all this, file sizes and captions, and let's just say that, we need to raise our level just a little bit to compete, and we will do so, have done so. The first 2 shows are up, and this week's show will be there as well. And you can always watch on YouTube as well. So
we need a new photo shoot. There's one mustache conspicuously missing. I just want to point that out. I'm just saying, if we want to do a Photoshop, all the great people out there who are much better than the image that I made with via Photoshop this weekend.
We will tweet that image, and I actually now remember that my wife did see that image, and she said, "Who is that?" It looks like a mug shot. That's a mug shot.
Yeah.
Said, I don't know who that is.
That's the guy. That's the guy. We're going to his place for July 4th. not gonna bring the kids. Not gonna.
He's gonna cook food for us
and handle explosives. It should be extremely safe and fulfilling for all of us, kids included. Eric Erickson also asked where you can find it. It is right there on Apple TV in the MLS Season Pass section. If you scroll down to series, boom, extra time. We're there. We've made it. We've arrived. It's pretty great. Best thing you saw in match day 1. Let's get into the soccer. Let's start with you, Dave. What's the best thing you saw?
My guy, Klaus Mania, has officially hit the Midwest, the real Midwest too. in St. Louis. He got the game winner against Austin. It was an impressive goal. He knew exactly what he was going to do. He looked good all game. St. Louis wins their first game ever in Major League Soccer history. It had all the stuff. And me and Klaus, after bonding at Media Marketing, I was obviously rooting for him. He's always been rooting for me, as he explained. So it's a symbiotic relationship, and I was pretty stoked about it.
It was a great finish. 2-2, going to the lake, cuts it back outside of the right foot. I mean, then he kind of got like choke slammed by his own teammate on the ground. That's how excited they were.
I think he also subbed off immediately, which is a class move. But I think Kip Keller being a childhood Klaus fan, it was kind of like a bittersweet moment for the St. Louis kid, but it was epic.
Yeah, between that and his best friend Jared Stroud, I would say picking his pocket, but like being handed. We'll get to that in a little bit. Tough one for Austin on this night, but a huge win for St. Louis. They go home to City Park next weekend. Taylor Twellman talking all weekend in the studio about how insane that game is going to be. Apparently, they're going to do like huge pep rallies outside of the stadium. Like they'll have more people at pep rallies than they'll be able to fit inside the stadium. It should be awesome. And coming off a 3-2 win against Austin, they're going to be jacked up about it. Tom, best thing you saw on match day 1?
Speaking of cold world, the absolute coldest image to come from the weekend, I think, was Teddy Pietro. After he scored the game winner against Toronto FC, he found the camera and he gave the and he just all of the mean mugging, all of the swag, all of the sauce, everything. It looked like Dame Lillard. And this is a kid who, I don't know how many MLS appearances he had. It's not that many. Was his debut last year? Like, oh man, that was just like experience beyond his years. Capped a great moment with a great picture. And it's just like no notes, 100% class.
Stop it, Cudi Pietro. What a goal.
We need more honors in this show. It's been wonderful to see him take the 1s and 2s and make them his own.
I was glad that just wasn't
Bobby
the buzzer.
Warshaw, by the way. That's Bobby Warshaw calling one of the great GA Cup goals in history, scored by Teddy Pietro, who's a legend. And then Teddy Pietro has an article written where he says his friends will just say it to him all the time to make fun of him because of the way Bobby called it. So one of the great moments in MLS history. It can never be forgotten. Thank you.
And he had the assist too to Benteke for the game tying goal.
Which, by the way, so past the fact that he's a legend now, he's been Loudoun's best player the last 2 years. And the thing about him is he covers the most ground in every game, and he does a little bit of everything. And that's why they love him. His ability, they often play him out wide, but he comes inside. But his ability to just drive at teams. And so you see it in the assist and the goal. And I think he would be even more effective as a starter as his career goes along because of his fitness.
Seems like
Teddy
Wayne...
KDP is a good nickname too.
It's a great nickname.
Yeah. Seems like Wayne is going to be playing a number of kids, as we say, on this
33
podcast.
or 16. That's it. 2 age groups.
Either you're 33 or you're half that. All right, give it to me, Doyle. What do you like?
Damir Kreilach being back, scoring a banger, like not a banger, but like a really nice goal for him after missing.
Diego
most
Valeri
of
called
year.
it a golazo in the green room. So if Diego calls it a golazo, I think I'm going to go with that.
I like.
So trying
like
so
that,
hard not to disagree, but he wants to.
João Paulo being back, I thought he was excellent last night. Brad Guzan and Miles Robinson being back. Miles struggled a little bit. I thought Guzan was pretty good in that game, and Hassani Dotson coming back as well for Minnesota United. These are guys who basically missed all or most of last season. You never know how, with injuries that are that significant, how guys are going to look upon return. But I like all of them. I'm not going to say we're perfect across the board, but like really, really encouraging, and I like to see that.
Damir Kreilach, that old man back. Hopefully it holds up for him. Word on the street is he looks pretty good. Maybe recovery is going to be an issue, but certainly finishing has never been an issue for Damir Kreilach. I'm going to go with, look, if you were going to go, big picture, World Cup winner, all these things that, a traditional pundit might go with. You'd say Thiago Almada, but I'm not going to say Thiago Almada. I'm going Serhii Krzysztof of Inter Miami. Signed him from Shakhtar. Speaking of legends, Bobby Warshaw. Legacy right there.
No, that's a Doyle take.
I know, but it was the three of us teaming up on Doyle and being like, what on earth are we talking about?
I've never heard more response to a show from a wider variety of people than the Shakhtar debate.
And if you don't know what that is, hit us up.
Go back 4 years.
Yeah, maybe we'll. I don't even know if it exists in the archives anymore. Anyway, Serhii comes in. He scores a goal.
Oh,
he has an emotional post-game explanation of why he's here to keep his family safe. He's been in Ukraine where there's a war happening. He said, look, just playing in front of fans was an incredibly emotional experience for me. He hasn't been doing that, and Inter Miami winning at home, and by the way, getting a little preseason revenge against Hernan Losada's CF Montreal. Also, Serhii bought a bunch of tickets for Ukrainians in Florida and brought them to the game. It's just one of those stories that, you know, it wraps everything up. It's got the soccer side, it's got the human side. It's why we love this game, because, yeah, there's 22 players on a field, and we have these incredible moments like Serhii Kristov basically, thrusting in a goal. And then you have the flip side of it being like a true human experience of everything he's gone through and how he's sharing it with people and how his family is feeling being in a place where they feel safe. I mean, it's an awesome story, and it's an awesome result for Inter Miami on match day 1. All right, let's get into it. We have a little mail here from Jason Wilson, who tweeted at us, guys, give me your extreme overreactions, a whole segment on ridiculous overreactions after week 1. That would be fun. I will start. My Golden Boot team is trash. It's just, it's utterly inept. You know, Anders had a great time at the pre-show meeting, basically reading it off to me, and I'll just sort of imitate him at this time. I got 1 goal, so I didn't get blanked. Sebastian Driussi with the goal. That's good. He was my keeper. Mikel Ura got subbed out.
You had more injuries than goals.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I had the same number of visa issues as I had goals. Mikel Ura subbed out, doesn't score a goal. Meanwhile, Julian Carranza is banging 2 for Dave. Gigi Jamakis in Atlanta, he has the visa issue. He's got to get it done. He'll be back next week, but we didn't see him. Copetti, big signing, early draft pick for me. Charlotte didn't look great at home. Lorenzo Insigne, don't worry, he's already injured, folks. Like, it's all working out for me. Romel Kyoto, no goals there, but at least he played. Tyus Magno, he's a forward, but should he be? Will he be long term? Like, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yes.
Diego Rubio just had surgery. The Rapids announced this morning on his knee.
That's injury number 2.
Yeah, how long is he out for? Remind me?
2 to 5 weeks.
2 to 5 weeks, that's a pretty wide band.
I talked to a doctor that I know named Anders Arhus. He says it should be fine.
They're all going to be all good.
Yeah. From his football manager experience of managing injuries for players.
Anders has a level of certainty with talking about like unspecified injuries. It's like a repeated thing that we see in pre-show rundowns. Anders is like giving details that like nobody else has, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't have, but he's like 100% certain about it.
Look, say it with your chest. People believe it, all right? Carlos Vela didn't play. Rain, go away. Didn't happen. Leo Campana, there's my 3rd injury right there. Mahala Opoku didn't play. And I look at this team, and I can't help but think, after being pretty confident in, the post-draft glow, that this team is trash. This is terrible. I got a good chance at the 2024 Ben Bear Comeback Manager of the Year award in the Golden Boot draft.
Weeby, I know how you feel.
Oh.
Do you? You have 7 goals already.
Yeah, I feel strongly immediately about my team. Overreaction.
Oh, okay.
Not in the direction you do. My team is clearly the best team in the draft. I'm going to dominate this thing, so I feel great.
Yeah, Dave on 7 goals, Gazdag 2 for him, Carranza with 2, Jordan Morris with 2. Bernardeschi got one from the spot, and has Insigne to take up any sort of possessions. He will get them all. Matt with 3 goals, Abobasi, Benteke, and Klaus.
3 more comments tonight from Willie Agata.
That's fair. Tom, 1 goal, 1 assist.
Man, if Willie Agata plays the same amount of minutes as Duncan McGuire tonight, then I will lose my mind.
Anyway, that was tough for me. Any other overreactions?
I feel bad for Jason Wilson. That is not what he had in mind when he submitted this question.
We used him. We used him in that sense. Let's give him a real one. What's a good overreaction from you?
All my overreactions are teams that lost that I thought played well and that I'm now completely high on. Like Vancouver. I'm all over Vancouver, and they lost at home to RSL. Columbus looked great for 45 minutes. They lost 4-1 to Philly, and I think both of those teams look fantastic.
You skipped the big one. The big one is Houston. Houston went to Cincinnati, and they outplayed Cincinnati. Like, they were the better team. Pat Noonan literally came out in the post game and was like, yeah, they were really, really good. They had 60% possession. They outshot them. They, were generating good chances.
Oh, come on.
Ache was locked in. Like, he clearly heard it this offseason when both Pat Onstad and Benny Olsen were like, yeah, he has to he has to play like it. He played like it in this one. His set piece delivery was incredible. Like I did not expect any of that from Houston in week 1, but it's a good reminder that, you know, Ben Olsen's teams in DC, even when they were completely outmanned, they played hard for him. And this Houston team in week 1, they played hard for him. They played good soccer. I thought their press was very good. So I'm like, I'm over. Okay, yeah, I'm over it. I was like, I'm completely removing Houston from any talk. Yeah, there you go.
That was full circle right there. All right, we have some mail here from Gus Amon. Says, Gents and Mr. Scoops, me and my circle of Dyna Bros were optimistic about this upcoming season.
What?
I would have read this email just for the phrase Dyna Bros. I gotta tell you, like the moment I read that, it was an incredible, just a huge smile across my face. So anyway, I'll repeat it. Me and my circle of Dyna Bros were optimistic about this upcoming season. We've had decent preseason results. Cap space was made, and the incoming additions seem to fill obvious gaps. However, all caps, y'all seem entirely down on the Dynamo and what is going on at the club. Understanding the club was in quite a hole to dig out of. None of us thought we would be dead last in the West in your predictions and power rankings. Even though our offseason was rated an A or A-, our preseason club review was, now we're predicted to win the Wooden Spoon by many. Is there anything or any nugget of hope you can find for us Dyna faithful? Also, the new El Sol kit is fire, and you all should get one. Dale Dynamo.
Didn't we just answer that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say Dyna Bros multiple times. So
okay, you got it.
That's great.
All right, we got it. There we go. Here's one. What's more concerning from Randy Bruce? Austin's opening day loss or Insigne's opening day injury, Dave?
I want to say you're one of the producers of this show. You host it. You don't have to tweet from an account that's I am Randy Bruce if you want to put something in the show. You could just put it in.
It used to be
really
Andrew in Brooklyn. Now it's Andrew in unnamed North New Jersey.
Now it's Randy Bruce. So clearly Insigne, Toronto ended up only using 2 subs because they have no depth. Then they lost the most expensive player in Major League Soccer who's on the wrong side of 30. So they have no depth, no high-end quality now. So that should be the biggest one. And I think if you see Insigne's face after he comes off, I think he was almost crying on the sideline. A player of that experience who knows his body, I think that sort of tells you what you need to see. I'm sure we'll have time for you to jump on the grave of Austin FC a little bit later on, Andrew, or do you want me to get into that right now?
No. I'm not jumping on any grave, but I am.
It'll be
a
bonus jump.
No, it'll be a bonus, yeah.
After a bonus loss, that's what they deserve. Let's do it now. Let's go. Unless you have an overreaction, Tom. You got one? Something juicy?
I can't tell. I mean, DC and Toronto should both be pretty high up in the watchability rankings, not necessarily for quality. I think 3-2 is going to be a regular scoreline for both of these teams. And I'm mad at myself that I didn't see it coming. Like talking to people in like that 7:30 window when there was 8 or 9 games on, whatever it was. All right, which one should be on the main screen? And like slowly I was like, this feels like a classic MLS game where there's just going to be goals and chaos, and maybe it's not going to be the highest quality all around, but it's going to be fun as and I think that like right now, those are 2 teams that are going to be fun as for good and bad reasons.
This is like when Doyle picked FC Cincinnati as the most entertaining team in MLS 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it proceeded to be the most correct pick in ETR.
I think it was San Jose. It was like San Jose during Almeida, the peak of Almeida ball, when they scored 50 goals and gave up 75.
That was those games were automatic, always fun. And if people are looking on the legal sports books, the overs have got to be. It's just always got to be going overs on those games.
5 goals, by the way, I would assume was probably the over. Austin, St. Louis City, all caps SC. First ever match for St. Louis. It was sort of assumed they were going to go to Austin and lose, and it was going to be sort of a fun night for the traveling fans. And then next weekend, they'd come back home, and it'd be all good and exciting, and they'd have their opportunity for glory, and they got their glory. We talked about it already. Klaus delivered. Jared Stroud was delivered to and then delivered. It was a great night for them. They didn't just press them off the field. It wasn't just Red Bull's sort of high energy drink soccer. They played at times, Doyle. This was not exactly what I expected from St. Louis.
No, I mean, It really did remind me of that cup of coffee that Bradley Carnell had with the Red Bulls as interim manager at the end of the 2020 season, where it was like the underpinnings were all clearly from that Red Bull school of play, but actually using the wide areas a little bit in that 4-2-3-1, playing a little bit through central midfield, more of like a Philadelphia type of approach rather than a pure energy drink soccer thing. Now, again, still very, very direct, but more about creating, using those 1-2s in central midfield to open up the channel to find a runner rather than sort of like hitting blind long ball after blind long ball, playing vertical on every touch to just create 50-50s all the time. So I enjoyed it. It felt like Austin were ready for it, but they just ended up shooting themselves in the foot with one of the most shacked in a pool plays you'll ever see in any sport.
Should we just get into the Stroud stuff? I mean, there's a lot of other things from this match we could talk about. Alex Ring being dropped for Owen Wolf, one of them. But let's talk Stroud. So the second goal of the game for St. Louis is
Guti, we're making a move.
Bizarre. I mean, it's just a bizarre goal. I don't think I've ever really seen anything quite like it. Jared Stroud is in the box and goes down, and he's not injured, but it's one of those moments where it's like he's got a little knock, and he kind of hangs behind the play. Austin are playing out as they want to do. They want to possess on that back line and break you down with possession, and Kip Keller gets the ball. Keller was a substitute for Julio Cascante, who came off, I think, 17, 18 minutes in with an injury, so Kip Keller comes off the bench to partner Leo Visanen. He'd already had a tough one. I mean, Tim Parker scores the opening goal for St. Louis, and Keller is marking him, and I put that on Brad Stuver, but that's neither here nor there. Keller gets the ball, and he's looking for an option, and all of a sudden he turns back to his goalkeeper. He takes a dribble or two. It looks like he glances, but doesn't fully, look back and evaluate the situation. And Jared Stroud, his teammate, and according to Jared Stroud afterwards, his good friend, Kip's a good friend of mine, Stroud said, Kip Keller passes it to his foot, and I don't know. I wasn't on the field. I don't know if Stroud's back there yelling, "Hey, ball, play me." What you say when you want the ball played, and their teammates. So maybe he recognizes the voice. Maybe he turns and sees the face, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my guy." And he puts the ball on Stroud's foot, and Stroud puts the ball in the back of the net. And Stroud says, "Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for him, but I was happy to score. I was like, shoot it." I didn't think twice. He definitely did not think twice. And obviously he played against Brad Stuver, so had a feeling of where Stuver would go. Sort of faked to the far post and went over the top of him to the near post. It was a nice goal, but it was a play that was heavily debated. There is a law.
Somebody gonna help him. Help him.
In Law 12.
Help! There's
and
two
it would
of
be
you
a
there.
caution for unsporting behavior, and the law reads: if you quote verbally distract an opponent during play or at a restart. I had a conversation with Christina Uncle, who's the referee now, analyst for 360. AI. And a friend of mine, me being a refereeing nerd as well, and I just said, there's this law, and it seems like this would apply.
Unreal.
And she said, essentially, and I'm boiling it all down, and I'm sure she could be much more clear, that she's never really heard or seen of referees calling something in that situation outside of, basically older folks that refereed in England, where I don't know if it was an honor thing, I don't know if they just interpreted that differently, or there's a moment in time where that was called frequently, but she's like, yeah, I don't think that would ever get called in that situation. You see him take a look back. You see him dribble back. Why should Kip Keller essentially get bailed out?
Kip Keller screwed up, right? That was an inexcusable play. But, we already mentioned Diego Valeri once, so let's do it again. Diego Valeri is no, that should not stand. That is a foul. That is what Jared Stroud did should not be allowed by the laws of the game. So it's not just the old refs in England. It's also our good friend Diego Valeri.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Tom, take us through the moral implications here. First of all, I let it be known that Jared Stroud is a New Jersey boy like yourself. I'm going to assume that on the fields of New Jersey, that goal would stand. How long would Jared Stroud be standing for after scoring that goal?
The next time he touched the ball, or even... what I was most surprised, and I think Ben Bear was the first person I saw that said, we saw another replay, Stroud called for the ball. If Stroud called for the ball, I think that goes past gamesmanship to over the line of that's messed up. And particularly to do to one of your good friends, that could be a friendship breaker for me, particularly if you're Keller. Like, hey man, like I don't play a ton. This was my chance to win a role, and you're playing on like our friendship and like name recognition. So again, this is all if that was the case.
The Stroud goal was bizarre.
He wasn't screaming
punked
at him
Austin.
immediately, and like I think that reaction was, again, if it was
that
clear,
goal
like if he
was
felt
one of
clearly
the few
duped,
highlights
like,
I
I
saw
feel like there would
from
be a
the
lot
weekend.
of anger coming back and like betrayal
And
of a good
it's
friend.
a hard one because
Dora, like you said,
yeah, he took advantage of the
I
friendship,
think
but like,
Stroud,
hey,
I believe got subbed out pretty quickly after, and it was funny because he did the he didn't play very much for Austin, and he still did the I'm gonna not celebrate out of respect, which again, I looked back at it. He played like 41 minutes last year. He wasn't even on the match day squad.
Yeah, I think he did that because of what he did.
So I was surprised that he didn't celebrate. And even then, he's like clapping the fans, and like there's a child doing like a crying face to him. There's middle fingers. There's audible boos and, thumbs down. So I thought that was funny.
He blew up Driussi too. Like he had a foul earlier in the game on Driussi where he cleaned him out.
So. Yeah, so a long-winded way, I think I would have manufactured a 50-50 challenge and kind of came in full force. You sit a few yards off and beg the pass to come in.
We're
and
separated.
Hope he doesn't play it one touch.
We're separated by 12 miles, but our feelings are the same as someone who averaged a yellow card a game throughout my playing careers. I don't think it should be handled by the referee, but I would think it would be handled by people on the field. And I can tell you, it happens like fairly often in men's league, rec league, co-ed league, whatever, because people are idiots or scumbags, whichever term you want to use. And I am the first to say something. I've never said anything to the ref. Just go up to the person. I say, Are you a joke? Are you kidding me? Are you embarrassed? How do you live with yourself? That's normally how the conversation goes.
Agreed.
And then I will probably foul you coming through the next, especially depending on who you did it to. Depending over the next few minutes, I will probably foul you. I am surprised none of that happened as well. I would have no expectation that the referee would step in and in any way affect that. One, can the referee literally hear him? Because if you can't, how are you going to judge that? And what Ben talked about,
if he can't, can Kip Keller? I would also throw that out there.
You could see him on the replay calling for it.
You could see him on the replay point to his feet, which normally is followed by play my feet, but is not always audible. So does that count as a call?
And like, look, the circumstantial evidence is Kip played the ball and then he checked back into the space, like waiting to receive the pass back. Like, it was pretty clear, again, whether it was Stroud calling for it, which we all assume, or Kip just like had a brain for it, where it's okay, like, yeah, that's a teammate. Let me get wide, make it easier to get the ball back. And then he like quickly realized when Stroud turned around, like, oh no, he plays for the other team.
Yeah, it's I mean, look, Kip Keller and Jared Stroud are gonna have to work that one out between themselves. Obviously, there was a relationship there from last year in Austin. Is a rough game all around for Keller. I mean, St. Louis boy, born and raised.
Got dunked on by Tim Parker.
Can we, because I feel bad for Kip Keller at this point, I thought on the first play, I don't know why Weissenen did not come over to help. There was one attacker in that shot. It was just Klaus. Why Kip Keller got left on an island for that to happen was pretty inexcusable. Pretty bad help defense.
Good work, Joshy boy.
Yeah, look, that's where I was going to go with Austin. We could go there in a second, but I completely agree with Dave in the sense that I don't think I see this law. Every law is up for interpretation. I would not expect, if I was a player, for that to be something that would be called on the field. I haven't seen it called on the field. I can't think of a single time that I've seen that foul called.
I've never seen
in a professional match. Like I don't think there should be that expectation.
The only thing I've ever seen called is the screaming at a goalie when you charge them down.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I've seen that called. I think it's the same concept. But I've never seen it called for calling for a pass.
Anyway, look, Austin fans were going after Keller a little bit, and I would just say to Austin fans, relax, take a step back. Dude got subbed into a match he didn't know he was going to come into. Had some rough moments. You don't have center back
at St. Louis University.
So it's a real smart idea for you to try to burn the house down right now as you're about to enter CCL. When you lost your best center back, you don't know if Wiesenen's going to be as good as Gabrielson. Cascante's hurt. It's Kip Keller, Emro Tarek, and then I guess like Adam Lundqvist could play center back, but outside of that, you don't have depth, and that is your Achilles heel.
But a win for St. Louis.
Props to Josh Wolf after the match, and he basically just said, look, mistakes happen, and it's our job to help him move forward. But mistakes happen, so calm down. But center back is a concern.
Oh gosh,
I would say just on the depth front for Austin. But they didn't seem that concerned about this. Doyle, should they be more concerned?
Yes, and for the reasons that we've pointed out for a year now, is that they overperformed their underlying numbers last season. Breaks like this one tended to go their way last year. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't replicate that. The Sounders under Brian Schmetzer have basically overperformed their numbers consistently since 2016. So it can happen. But for the most part, we pay attention to those numbers because they're a really good guide of how well a team is actually playing. So yeah, be concerned. You're not going to lose more games with Kip Keller or anyone else, replicating this play.
Oh no, this is through. Big
You have
stop
to,
by Olmsberg.
at home against an expansion team, you have to be dominant and put games away in a manner that Austin has rarely shown.
They won these games like 5-1 at the beginning of last season. That's where the bonus game concept came from.
Yeah.
This is one game. It's 90 minutes, so let's not overreact. But should we overreact maybe? Anybody have a take on the Owen Wolf over Alex Ring? Ring, the club captain?
Yeah.
Dropped?
From what I've heard, off the field stuff played a big role in that.
Really?
That makes sense. I for one think Owen Wolf is hugely talented as well. So for me, it wasn't just like, oh, what an insane soccer decision, but it did feel like an interesting opening day decision with the guy who had been your club captain. That's Driussi now. Driussi got a goal.
Oh,
Thank God I held on to him, but we're in for a rough year otherwise.
So Alex Ring didn't start, but shout out to Alex Ring. He went like Diego Maradona style, low, just drooped socks. I don't even know if there were shin guards in there. It's a baller move. So he looked cool when he did get on the field at the end of the game.
Well done to him. Okay, let's keep it moving. Philadelphia, Columbus Crew, 4-1 win for Philly. The Crew they had the ball, they had control of the match in the first half. They had the lead, and then a 45+3 PK from Daniel Gazdag off a handball that's highly debatable. We'll hit that on instant replay, obviously, and another handball in the second half. Gazdag 2 goals from the spot. Julian Carranza 2 goals, much to Dave's wife's delight. Megan very happy about that, obviously.
Asked me who he was again.
Yeah.
Every time.
Come on, Guti, shoot it!
Jim Curtin after the match, obviously happy with the 3 points. It was a statement for the Union, but here's what Curtin had to say. Quote, "This Columbus team is going to be very, very, very good." He said all 3 varies. Those are quoted. "If you look at the first 15 minutes of the game tonight, we didn't touch the soccer ball. You can see the ideas that Wolford's going to have with them, just how good they're going to be, how dangerous they're going to be in the Eastern Conference this season." Tom, that's just the perfect quote for a coach who won 4-1 to say.
I was going to say, I don't doubt that he's being honest, but I will say if you've spent time on Jim Curtin press conferences or just any time talking to Jim, like this is who he is. He's super nice. You will not hear a bad word. He does the perfect, it could be August and, last year playing DC United when they're bottom of the table with nothing really to play for and be like, look, man, this team's better than a lot of people think. They're going to go out there. They're going to fight. We got our hands full today. Like, he'll say that about anybody. If they were playing an NCAA D3 team or a men's league team, he'd be like, you know what? They got some players on here that people aren't talking about, and it's going to be a difficult game. So I believe that he believes all of this, but he's not going to say a bit. If he thought that they sucked, he wouldn't say it.
He's worried about Keene College this season.
By the way,
Kane University, thank you very much.
He wouldn't say it unless Gabriel Heinze was coaching.
Or he was dragging the crowd at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. He just wouldn't say a bad word about anybody unless he was calling them a fake crowd. Either way. By the way, I did see Keene University on my New Jersey Transit trip in.
That is heavy part of their advertising campaign. Buses, trains. Yeah.
It said the most budget university in New Jersey, Tom. I just want you to know that.
But elite soccer program.
I don't love that framing of them. Like every time I see those advertisements, I get it. They know where the bread and butter is, but it's not like Harvard University. You know what I mean?
Your mustache is welcome here, Keene University. Okay, let's keep it going here on Philly and Columbus. What did Philly show you, Dave?
Pretty much most of what they showed last year, which is they know who they are and they can do the things they do well at an elite level. I did say in the first half, I thought Columbus sort of punched them in the mouth in a way in Philly we haven't really seen teams do. So credit to them to recover from that, to stay comfortable. And then Jose Martinez won 2 50-50 moments, one against Zelarayan. Maybe it was 40-60. It was a pretty tough spot that Quinton put Nagby in, who put Zelarayan in. And once Martinez wins that ball, they know exactly what they want to do. Now, The bonus this year is they can bring Joaquin Torres off the bench, and he can create a goal in the first 13 seconds being on the field. They didn't have that player last year. So as you look across the season, that's where the confidence, I think, comes from Philly being able to maintain what they did over the last 3 years. Again, where so many MLS teams fall off, it feels like they've gotten deeper. It feels like they can change the way they play even more. And the only question mark was, well, will last year's guys still be the same? And after week 1, it looks like it.
Yeah, the Joaquin Torres acquisition, I think we were all kind of pretty high in it. I was saying that from the beginning, that like this is a new way for this team to get points. Like again, if you need somebody to eliminate players off the dribble, like hit that final ball that he played on that sequence in which he got the assist was incredible. But like I still think of like, all right, they're gonna come against low blocks. They're gonna come against teams that are frustrating, trying to play for a draw. And if Torres isn't starting, then you bring him in off the bench and shift him wide. And the way you change it, the way that Jack McGlynn's introduction into the first team last year was so important because he offered them something different than what the rest of the midfield was giving them. So this team can beat you in so many different ways. Now they're so deep. I think they're going to be able to deal with CCL. Doyle, I know that teams in CCL don't typically make runs at the Shield, but like I think this team is just different and like much deeper, and the way that they've been able, like Jim Curtin also talks about, it's not a coincidence necessarily that they haven't had many injuries over the last few years. Like this is kind of sustained. I don't know, what you do differently that makes a team less injury prone, so I'm not sure 100%.
Would not say that out loud. Would never say that out loud.
I'm saying they truly believe that. Okay, well, they were saying that, like, hey, it's not a coincidence why these things happen, why we've been able to kind of maintain this continuity. So let's, again, like, I think that this team is going to be deep enough to make a Shield run despite being CCL. And again, I think that they are among the favorites in CCL.
Tell me about this crew lineup and what you see from Nance Doyle, because you have Patrick Schulte in goal. You've got Philip Quinton on the back line. You've got Mo Farsi in this team. Will Sands is there. Matan is back, and he's in the team. He'd kind of become a running joke for us. Like, where is he? Is he going to make an impact? Like, this is Wilfred Nance to a T. He's going to delve down into the kids. He's going to look at guys that haven't been playing up their potential. Crew 2 is going to get a look as well. And, it may not have been a full performance, but it was, I think, encouraging.
Yeah, I agree. That first half was really, really good. I'm not exactly sure why Will Sands came off at halftime and Luis Diaz came on. I thought that kind of upset their balance defensively a little bit. But
I think it was for the attack.
It might have been, but
Sands' decision-making was not good in the first half in the attack. And just because when I watched it, I said, okay, yeah, it's the Lassi Lapalainen move, right? Put a winger at one of the wing backs, see if you can cover for him defensively and get elite attacking output. I don't think Luis Diaz is that player. I also actually don't think Lassi Lapalainen is either, but I think that was the thought process there.
Well, either way, the bet you make when you hire Wilfred Nance is what we just described. Is that you can turn guys like Philip Quinton and Will Sands and Mo Farsi and Sean Zawadzki, who came in, I think, late in this game, and Matan, you could turn them into what we saw in Montreal the past couple of years. And the only thing I'll say is that, like, Crew fans are probably going to need to be a little bit patient, but maybe not too patient, because I think against anybody except Philadelphia, they're walking out of this game with a point, which is also a way of agreeing with what Tom was saying about Philly being absurdly deep and just seeming incredibly well prepared to juggle, 4 different, maybe 5 different competitions by the end of the year.
Atlanta United didn't seem ready to juggle that many competitions. Looked like they're going to lose opening day to San Jose. San Jose up 1-0. Araujo had missed a penalty kick. It's the 90th minute, and they got a corner kick, and you're like, yeah, this is probably going to be nothing, and then the crowd's going to go home unhappy, and it's good to have a World Cup winner in your squad, Thiago Almada. The MVP campaign is underway. Those are Anders' words. I'm reading them directly off the rundown. I just want everyone to know that. Don't attribute that to me, but it is possible. Comes in.
Don't attribute to me, but I agree.
Yeah. Just in case it does work out, I will also claim part credit, but I will not take any of the blame. Look, corner kick to him at the top of the box. Bang. Right footer off the underside of the crossbar. It's 1-1. Free kick at the top of the 18. Top corner. It's 2-1. Gonzalo Pineda is hugging him. They're going absolutely wild in Atlanta, Dave. And this is a huge moment for a player who sort of seemed poised to start having them based on what he had just done, based on what he did last year. He wore the Fuerte Apache shirt under his jersey. That's where he grew up in Argentina. And afterwards, Almada said his dad was in the building. And the celebration was for the people in his neighborhood who always support me. A restaurant there helping people who don't have food to eat. I dedicate today to them, my family, my mom, a little sister who are there. It doesn't feel like if he does these things, he will be around for particularly long in Major League Soccer.
This is what Atlanta's been looking for since Almiron left, right? Like, they have spent a ton of money on multiple players, not starting with Almada, starting with Petey, of course Barco as well. Almada's good enough though, and he's good enough to do it now. I think the bigger story coming out of this game is Atlanta looked a lot like Atlanta has looked like over the last 18 months, which is they don't have ideas of how they're going to.
Don't say that to Brad Guzan. Not say that to Brad Guzan.
Did he specifically say we look different?
They was asked, does this remind you of the last year? And he said, I'm going to be pissed if you start with that narrative. And that he used the P word in that sense.
Okay, Brad, this looked a lot like it looked in past years. You had no ways to break the opponent down. There did not seem to be a cohesive movement throughout the team. Luis Araujo is in danger of being one of the biggest DP busts in Major League Soccer history by not missing a penalty kick, by skying a penalty kick into another state. But Almada's good enough. If they cannot beat themselves with Giacomakis coming in, there's probably enough talent to win enough games to sneak into the playoffs. There is a world in which they do put together a cohesive unit with ideas, and they can contend at the top of the Eastern Conference. This team was not that team the way they played yesterday. I know they're missing a decent amount of pieces. That was not that team. And so you did walk away saying, all right, at least they hit on Almada the way, better than they did on the last two big signings. That's a bonus. But there's not anything past that right now when you watch Atlanta.
I don't disagree with what David just said. They generated 20 shots.
You disagree with Brad Guzan.
I do disagree with Brad Guzan.
You're in danger of that.
They generated 20 shots. Only 4 of them were from inside the box. And as David said, one of those was the PK that Araujo hit to Alpharetta. It looked very similar. Everyone. The difference is, variance. What if shot goes in? It did. What I will say is that they did dominate the last 40 minutes of the game in terms of just tilting the field in a way that I think was probably more promising than last year, right? And they have the type of talent where I think they're going to be able to, and I think with Etienne Jr. and Caleb Wiley
Thank you all.
sharing left wing, guys who don't need the ball, I think that they'll have better balance, and so they'll be able to do that. Then's the hard part, right? The hard part is, okay, can we use that field tilt to create high-level chances repeatedly? They have not come from what we've seen over the past year and a half under Gonzalo Pineda, and from what we saw for 90 minutes this weekend. They have not come anywhere close to doing that, and I'm not super confident that they will, but they will be better anyway, because I think it's just going to be a case of putting more of the game at Almada's feet, since he doesn't have to share spots on the field with Moreno, and because they just can't possibly suffer as many injuries this year as they did last year.
And this, by the way, under De Boer, if you remember, was they are always losing, and Giant, throwing every number forward, and 60.
I read something, some quote from the worst manager in the history of the Premier League, Frank De Boer.
I was like, Anders, that ball is sitting on the rim, man. If you do not come in and just dunk slam that right now.
Poor guys.
Oh my God, that's such a good clip. But the point was that they won a trophy. They won multiple trophies. They won Campeones Cup. They won U.S. Open Cup under him. And most of their wins were home games, pushed by the crowd, overwhelming overloads and numbers, and being able to muddle the ball across the line in the end. So
I know that we all pointed out how, Thiago Almada's heroics there. It's unlikely that you're going to get 2 stoppage time goals from distance, but again, he's a special player and he's going to help win them games. If they're building all this around Thiago Almada, which it seems pretty clear that they are, and try to maximize his ability and maximize his influence on the game. What happens on July 1st if that's when he's transferred to Europe? Then what do you do for the second half of the season? It's really difficult to replace on the fly, and you go back to some of those, like Luis Araujo was supposed to be somebody who was taking control of that, and when he was bought or when he was acquired, and he just hasn't been that player. He hasn't been consistent both in influencing the game or his end product, and he missed the PK that we were already talking about. So the plan has to be to build the team around to Thiago Almada because he's that special. But what happens if he leaves in the summer, let alone in the winter?
Give me a nugget on San Jose, Doyle. It seemed like the midfield was better.
Yeah, they looked really good for 50 minutes. I thought the balance was really good. They didn't give up anything defensively until those two bangers. They lost hold of the game around the 55th minute, maybe the hour mark. And it came right after Carlos Gruezo went down, I think, right? Like, am I wrong? Yeah.
No, that's like the exact, it was like the 61st minute or something. He goes down for a while and then he stays in.
Yeah, I think that kind of upset their balance in midfield. He might be what, to them, what Diego Chara is to the Timbers. It might be that kind of situation. Luchi Gonzalez is going to have to figure that out, but it's tough to say this about a Quakes team that just misses the playoffs every year and then suffered a backbreaker in week one, but like I saw some pretty good reasons to be relatively optimistic about this team, and I'm still pretty confident that they're in 8th, 9th, somewhere around there in the Western Conference.
6'8" goalkeeper, they win 1-0. Just found that out.
That is absolute facts. DC United, Toronto FC, DC with the late dramatics. We talked about Teddy KDP here. 3-2 win over Toronto, who had just the bad body language going hardcore really throughout the match. That's sort of been a consistent theme with them. Let's just talk about the kids, though. Doyle, you got any thoughts on the kids? Because Matea Kamboni starts, he's 16 years old. He gives it a PK to Richie Larea, but men twice his age have done that with regularity. So I'm not gonna kill him for that. But then you see sort of the subs, whether it be Teddy KDP for Wayne Rooney or Hopkins coming in, Jackson Hopkins, or on the other flank, Christian Fletcher coming in. I mean, he's playing the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it was Fletcher and Teddy KDP kind of undressing that Toronto FC right side down the stretch to create the equalizer and the game winner. Hey, I thought it was going to go in the other direction for DC United with the way that they brought in guys who were kind of at or on the wrong side of 30 over the summer and then kept doing that this winter. I really thought it was just going to be kind of the old man team. But Wayne Rooney clearly had a mandate or set out a mandate to the players. Like, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And I guess Akamboni and Chris Durkin's not particularly old. He's a starter now for this team. And the kids that you mentioned, they have all done work to win their spots. And Teddy KDP, his calling card as a youth player was he was just a dribbly boy. Like he just always wanted to get into those 1v1s and put someone on the rear end and create the highlight reel play. So to see him play like this and get a goal like that, whereas about his off-ball smarts and his box arrival and using the space that's created by
hit me out wide.
A massive center forward in Benteke who's going to have that gravity. That's the type of stuff that's going to keep you in the lineup. So even though I'm still not convinced that DC United are going to be, a lot better than what we all predicted them as in preseason, they look a heck of a lot more fun.
And we haven't pointed out Mateus Klick. He was, that was a really good goal. He picked up the ball inside his own half. Again, I know that we're going to talk about the lack of mobility or defensive, ball winning in that Toronto FC midfield. So maybe that was a little bit easier for him to dribble 40 yards and shoot from 25 and score. But I think it's worth mentioning that from day one, that's a really good sign for DC because they need Klick to be really good.
And a bad sign for Toronto. You have thus mentioned the issues with ball pressure and ability to recover by the Toronto midfield, and there's not really help on the other side. I guess they did just make the trade with Dallas, so maybe Brandon Cervani can help a little bit there, but some concerning moments for Toronto early on. All royalties for Dribbly Boy, please send those to
That's not mine.
Long Island Queens and Long Island City Queens and Matt Doyle.
No.
Okay, let's hit Nashville NYCFC. Dave, no Hani Mukhtar, but they got Jacob Schaffelberg.
Oh, the Shaft.
They got Walker Zimmerman, who's doing the Johnny Cash celebration. NYCFC have some issues. We'll get to those in a second, but it's a great opening day for Nashville.
Yeah, and it's what they didn't do last year at home, right? Which was just playing with energy, being aggressive, making it uncomfortable to be in their building, and then letting the crowd get behind them. They got off to the wrong start in Geodis Park. They are very good at sitting deeper, hitting in transition, being the away team. And the question is the home form. Can they change that? It's not a completely different style, but I think the way they were aggressive, especially using the fact that NYCFC is easy to play through in the middle, they were able to find Randall Leal's feet, and he was able to create from there. And he really was just using the speed around him as tools. Now, there's a reason Jacob Schaffelberg isn't on Toronto FC, right? Throughout 75 minutes, he does not finish. He doesn't complete every play. But what Nashville found from him last year is he gets in dangerous spots, and it makes the game better for them overall. If they don't have Hani Mukhtar for a long time, they're probably going to be hanging on by their fingernails. But they were able to get a big win at home to start things out. I thought Jack Mayer looked really good at center back, which is one of their big conversations coming into this year. And Sean Davis is going to need to be big for them. Their ground coverage in central midfield took a step back. If Godoy is healthy this year and Sean Davis is comfortable, that's probably their best path forward from that position as well. So if Mukhtar comes back into the team healthy with Leal playing this way, that looks to me like a better group than a lot of us talked about, because we were fairly down on this team in our preseason conversations, and that potential is higher than what we talked about.
I think it still hinges on Hani, obviously. Well done to them, though, for getting the goal early on from the set piece. That's the way he draw it up. Daniel Nielsen hits up and said, what the heck's going on? How's Cushing going to do with this NYC squad? Or is he going to have to get more guys to compete? That's your territory, Tommy Scoops. What's up with the Santi Rodriguez stuff? Is that going to happen?
I haven't heard any updates on that. Again, CL Merlo reported a few weeks ago that it was happening, so it's surprising that it hasn't yet. Look, this isn't how the squad's going to look like in even probably 3 weeks, let alone by the end of the season. And it's very clear that they need a high-level number 10. We've all been saying we think that they need a high-level number 9, or keeping somebody like Aberg to be the starter, so Towson Hagel playing left wing. Matias Pellegrini did not look comfortable as a number 10, and that's because he's a winger. Gabby Pereira is a winger. Talos Magno is a winger. They need that 10. A new concern for me was looking at that midfield was very easy to play through. And I know Alfredo Morales wasn't available, and he's somebody who is difficult to play through. But I think that they're going to need a secondary ball winner, and that's probably a smaller move than anything else. But it seemed like Nashville controlled the game without the ball, as they tend to do. But anytime that they came out and tried to play in transition, or came out and tried to attack quickly, they could do whatever they wanted.
Is it a smaller move to get another ball winner, another guy to play alongside Keaton Parks? Or is it ending the James Sands loan early? Because he's now not making the game day squad for Rangers. Since Giovanni von Bronckhorst was fired, Sands has not really been a factor for that team. And his loan only goes another 3 months. So why not just end it early, get him in there, get him in the lineup, because he fixes a lot of that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I wish you would have had that earlier, Dave. That's a point that you could have made.
I would also throw on, by the way, Alfredo Morales was awesome 2021 playoffs to win MLS Cup. He only started 20 games that year. He only started 20 games last year. He has not consistently played for them. He's been up and down in his performances, so I don't know that he's even a fix-all for all of it for NYCFC. Also throwing out there, Tavon Gray is probably not a right back.
No.
Would love to see him get to play center back. He does not comfortably shape his body out wide. He doesn't really create chances. It's not his game, and I don't know why. I understand saying, we want to give a young player a chance. We don't have space at center back. Alex Collins is gone. They gave a DP spot to a center back. it just feels like there's
No,
a
I
space in there
missed
to
you,
play
Shaqiri,
him
I'm
or
sorry.
play 5 in the back if it's going to look like what it looked like this week.
I saw you, Jordan.
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
him being a
Put too
right-sided
much
center
meat
back
on
in
that
a back
for
three,
you.
I think would be his
I
best
think that's the
center.
spot.
The same way Kamal Miller like took a real big jump
Yeah.
when he went to Montreal. So, but again, that's a very specific role. And if the like
Oh.
you don't change your formation to make Tavon Gray's like ceiling as high as like I understand why not, but hopefully we'll see them play that a little bit.
All right, let's talk
No, he's
Cincinnati. We got
on.
Houston in already, and the
Vibes kept
Dynamos
him
should
on.
be well sated in that
Yeah.
sense. If we're talking about back fives, here we
Or
go.
Suquet did.
Cincinnati,
Wow.
Mosquera, Miazga, Hagelin. This was not their best performance, Doyle, but it was ammo for your Cincy Shield prediction.
Yeah, because over the past year, they draw this game, right? This is the type of performance where in 2022, it led to taking 1 point at home against a team that on paper they are much better than, but based upon last year's experience, based upon juicing the talent along the back line in central midfield. They didn't have Obina Nwobodo from the start last year. They have him from the start this year. He scored a goal. I think they upgraded at right wing back. Santi Arias wasn't great, but he was influential in a way that I thought was really helpful. They found a way to win. And if you're going to be a Shield contender, if you're going to get a home game in the playoffs, you have to win some games where you play poorly. And that was what Pat Noonan's post-game presser was about. He's like, I don't think any of us, I don't think anybody on the field for us played very well. But we talked about heading into this game, the importance of winning. And that's what we saw. And remember, last year, LAFC won the Shield. They were like 5 wins and a draw in their first 6 games. The points you collect now really, really matter, especially when you're looking at, trying to run down teams as good as Philly are, as good as I think the Sounders will be again this year, as good as potentially LAFC will be this year.
Figured it out.
So one thing, and I don't want to overreact from one game, but one of the things we all talked about was Jeremy Abobasi gave an interesting interview right before the season about shot selection. And Brandon Vasquez has talked about this as well. He had 2 good looks. Both were not on frame. And they both were, I'm trying to put this in the corner. And what helped him start last year was putting things on frame and just being around a lot. It's not something that it might be one game. But if Brenner is not a full-time starter and Brenner is not a high-level goal scorer, they're going to need Brandon Vasquez to score at least what he did last year. And he has to just put things on frame and allow them to create chances rather than trying to find corners.
I know that we're going to try to say, oh, is Sergio Santos the new starter in Cincy? I'm not worried about Brenner being he didn't start the beginning of last year either because he was visa issues and trying to come back to Cincinnati for preseason. He missed most of preseason. Took him a while to get to be in the starting lineup, and then he was scoring a bunch of goals. He was gone for like 2.5 weeks. His first training session pretty much since like the beginning of the month was like Tuesday. Like I think it was obvious that's why he didn't start. But again, I'm not worried about him. Like again, I think that this attack is going to be fine no matter what.
All right, Cincinnati, nice win there. Keep it rolling. Some quick hitters for you. Seattle 4, Colorado 0 on Sunday night. I was with Shep Messing doing the pregame for this one. We watched together. Shambolic, as he might say, from the Rapids. I mean, just extremely, extremely poor defensively. So I don't know that we have much to say about that one other than, that isn't going to be it that gets you back to the playoffs, even with 9 teams. Meanwhile, Seattle, I'm just going to read verbatim from the chat from Producing Anders. Quote, who would have guessed the team that won CCL when healthy and rested is super good? Quote, hand us the cup now. Quote, the real take is this is why they got Hebert, who started for Rui Diaz. Quote, Rui Diaz out for match day 1. Hebert steps right in and can be a high-level 9, so there isn't as much drop-off in the attack. Bleach blonde Jordan Morris out here, like, uglying in a couple goals, but who cares? David Goss's Golden Boot team certainly doesn't. Christian Roldan smashing the crossbar, getting a goal himself. It's just a dominant performance.
A dominant performance. This team is deeper than they were last year, and it's not just Eber, right? It's also the fact that Ryan Schmetzer clearly trusts Josh Atencio more. Started him in the Club World Cup. I thought he played 65 really good minutes in that one. He came off the bench in this one for João Paulo. I think he'll get a lot of minutes in deep midfield, spelling JP and Albert Rusnak. He trusts Danny Leyva more. I think he probably trusts Leo Chu more. Leo Chu came off the bench. I thought he was pretty good in 15 minutes. Now, granted, he's not going to get to run at Lalas Abubakar playing out of position at right back every week, but it feels like the Sounders are deeper everywhere except center back. And it feels like if that's the case, this is a team that we should expect to be around 65 points in the mix for a Shield. From everything I have heard, they are shopping Xavier Arriaga. They do know that they need to get more bodies in the mix at center back. It'll be interesting to see where Arriaga ends up, because he's the type of guy. I mean, you look at teams that struggle defensively.
No one scores like Gaston. No one puts the ball back in the net like Gaston.
Okay, Austin is an obvious one.
All playing center back in Austin, who has experience in this league, can play
NYCFC is the Collins replacement.
I think Thiago Martins is that player.
I think
they spent the DP spot.
Yeah, but like Chanot is not a starting caliber center back.
Yeah.
Red Bulls need another center back.
I will say that market
Red Bulls is a good shot.
has gotten more competitive over the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Courtney Ford going down 2 weeks ago. Julio Cascante going down. It feels like if you were going to get a center back, you probably should have done it already, because now you're going to have to compete with everyone else.
Kansas City's close on a replacement. I'll say that much.
Was it out of Colombia? Saw that rumor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably saw that rumor from you. Just if I had to guess where I saw that one. All right, let's keep hitting on these pretty quick.
Wait, so
okay.
Can anyone out there listening remembers, I'm pretty sure what I bet you was that Eber would have more goals than Joseph. I think that was
I think that was right. If somebody wants to correct us, that would be
I'm winning one.
Wonderful
right now.
Tom, are you texting someone right now about the?
Sorry. I thought I was as quiet as possible.
Oh no, I thought I was a hard typer. Oh my God, that was incredible. Orlando City 1, Red Bull 0. We had Dale hit us up and say, was every match ugly to watch due to rust, or was Orlando Red Bulls just especially gross? I really should have known. A lot of preseason pointing to this game for me, because I think both these teams are going to be sort of in the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference, but it is not a surprise at all whatsoever to see Poppies Orlando and the Red Bulls without their DP striker come out and play a game that was difficult on the eyes. Orlando created basically nothing other than the PK.
We'll take it.
Duncan McGuire couldn't score because he didn't play Doyle, but we'll keep an eye on that one. And then the Red Bulls, this is sort of what we've talked about for a long time with them. Like,
poor Dale.
It's not pretty, dude.
Dale watched the game. I have Red Bull friends who were like, did the game suck this weekend? I said, no, just your game, the one you watched. They all were really good in 1080p, and they all were very entertaining, except the one you played.
That was a tough one. Inter Miami 2, Montreal 0. Good opening day for Miami. And great stories on both the goal scorers. We already went through Serhii Krzysztof, but the other goal scorer here is Shander Borgelin, who is playing in his first MLS match. He played 22 minutes. He got the goal. It was a very bizarre, rebound, pool rebound, ping pong goal. But his first MLS appearance, he scores. He had been, Dave, I think you were telling me the story. He had been with Philly in their MLS Next Pro setup, and then he was with Miami scoring goals last year in MLS Next Pro.
Thanks for hanging out. Kick that like button. Subscribe for more Spinfire. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Most of that was correct. I was not the one who told you, so I don't want to take
credit. As always. And we'll have a Chicago Fire game in the interim on Saturday, 7:30 at Soldier Field. Good luck to the Fire. Good luck to all your MLS teams. Good luck to everybody. Thank you for hanging out here and checking us out on Spinfire. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out, bantering, talking a little soccer. Thanks for DPG stopping by, swinging by earlier, dropping some knowledge and talking some fire. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Fire it up, footballers. Have a great one. Later. Woo.
Thank you.